Well, greetings, imagination connoisseurs. Once again, it is I, your Duke of Dope Discourse. Oh, yeah, that's right. Robert Meyer Burnett, and I'm coming at you with another episode of Let's Get Physical Media. And, I've said it before. I've said it on every episode of the show, which you've heard me saying 1,000 times in different variations. Well, maybe not 1,000 times because we haven't done 1,000 shows. But you know him. You love him. All the way from Saarbrücken, Deutschland, it's Dieter Bastian.
And Rob, I'm very excited because December vacation is just around the corner. Only 3 more working days, and I hope my voice got rested from Wednesday when I saw Battle Beast. It was awesome. So hopefully my voice has come back to say, greetings, imagination connoisseurs. Dieter here, I'm Rocky Like Hurricane. And welcome to the B&B Motel for Let's Get Physical Media. And Rob, we are in the final stretches of the year. At the end of the year, do we do our top 10 as usual? I would say.
I would hope so.
Okay.
Because
it's always a tough one to put the 10 titles together. It's not easy.
I don't have a clear front runner this year.
Yeah, me neither. I was hoping for Hard Boiled, but as you know, I didn't get mine, so
those are going to be hard to come by. But yeah. And I've been slowing down, to be honest. I haven't bought as much stuff this year.
I'm trying to, Rob, but there were Black Friday deals.
No, I know
all that stuff.
I know, but I think in general, most of the stuff that I've wanted has come out. I mean, I'm behind on Criterion stuff. I didn't buy anything at the sale this time. There's a lot of stuff I'm behind on, so that I want, but it's all gettable. It's all gettable for a price. For a price.
For price. Exactly, Rob. For the price. And speaking of price and money, Rob, I don't know if we do a big box office break because I don't think there were many movies opening. But Dust Bunny opened. Rob, have you?
Dust Bunny did not crack, unfortunately, the top 10.
Okay.
So
little sad.
Very limited release. I mean, it's really too bad because the film is a tremendous theatrical experience. I've never seen a film with a 3-to-1 aspect ratio.
Yeah.
So that's
totally unique.
Pretty amazing, pretty unique.
Yeah. So, but it's Zootopia over the billion dollar
Zootopia
mark.
is actually domestically it's made $258.9 million. Five Nights at Freddy's is just let me give first of all the domestic box office. Zootopia 2 is at $258.97 million domestic. Five Nights at Freddy's, man, did they crush it. $95.4 million, amazing for that swill. Wicked for Good, domestically at $312.1 million, very good response there. Durhandar is at $7.9 million. It's obviously Ranveer Singh is putting up impressive numbers, and people love this movie. So the trailer is really interesting. Now You See Me, Now You Don't. The third in that franchise, $59.3 million domestic.
Yeah.
The new film that everybody was talking about, Ella McKay, or people weren't talking about it.
Yeah.
Of course, Ella McKay comes to us from one of our formerly great directors. Ella McKay not doing well. James L. Brooks, his 7th directorial film, really got some really bad reviews. Unfortunately, I think it's a movie out of time. Who knows?
Okay.
It only made $2.1 million. Jujutsu Kaisen Execution has made $14.5 million. How the Grinch Stole Christmas, a re-release, made $1.85 million for a total of $264.2 million. Eternity, an A24 film that looks pretty good to me, has made $12.99 million. I haven't seen it. And the Shining, its IMAX re-release in 400 theaters, made $1.56 million, which takes The Shining's lifetime box office up to $47.7 million. So there you go. And it's interesting that The Shining, obviously came out 45 years ago, and its lifetime gross is only 47 million, which is kind of interesting, really.
So the Silent Night, Deadly Night remake wasn't even in the top 10?
It was the 11th, number 11th.
11th, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Again, you can't expect movies that don't have huge marketing to make money,
Yeah.
So
it's tough.
It really is. Now, check this out.
Yeah.
Zootopia 2 internationally, totally, has made
Okay.
1.137 billion, and it has outgrossed the original.
Holy
So,
moly. But it was only
by the way, can I just say,
Yep.
Go ahead. Sorry.
But you said in the States it was only 270, so a lot of money from China.
Yeah, well, yes, it's doing huge numbers. 1.37 worldwide, including 877.7 million from the international box office, and 500 million of that comes from China, which means we'll see like 6 cents. But hey, Niza 2 crossed, or probably not Niza 2, Z2. Well, whatever, crossed $1 billion. Oh, they're talking Zootopia. I'm an idiot. Zootopia 2 crossed $1 billion on global on Friday. It's the second movie. It's only the second movie to get to $1 billion this year, and it got there in
not really correct, Rob. Nisa 2 is still the number one.
Is that really true? You want to call that?
Rob, when you're counting the money for Zootopia, you can count the money for Nisa 2.
It's true.
Because that movie is specifically, for the Chinese market.
And you sent me Nisa 1. Maybe that'll be my disc of the year.
Yeah.
Who knows?
But Nisa came out, Rob, I think 1 or 2 years ago. Or it was even way earlier.
Yeah, but for me, I didn't get it.
Yeah.
So let's see what the international box office has to share. So let's go down. Oh, this isn't the full box office for international. It was just about Zootopia. So there you go. That's all the news that's fit to print. The end of the year. I mean, we're a little less than a little more than 2 weeks away from the end of this year.
Yeah,
which is crazy.
Totally. Another year behind us. And just quickly, Rob, 2 digital movies that I've seen. The first one, because Netflix is in the big news every day, I watched Wake Up Dead Man.
Wait, hang on. Let me get you to there. Yeah.
The third one in the Rian Johnson Knives Out trilogy, and I had a blast, Rob, with his third murder mystery. Yes, Ryan did get a lot of money, but he didn't phone it in at all, because I had a blast with the last one.
Well, what a cast.
Considering the twist, the twists and turns that were appearing in the movie, I had a great time with the third one. Perhaps even my favorite, but it's tough. I pretty much like them all. So for me, that was a good investment for Netflix, not like directors, who pocket the money for themselves and didn't deliver anything.
He's going to jail, that guy.
I saw when you had the topic on the John Campea show again, but Rian Johnson for me totally delivered. Great twists and turns with the new one. I didn't felt the running time of almost 2.5 hours at all. So
that's
me,
good.
big.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Looking for what
totally.
Else? What else did you
So
watch?
I won't give anything away.
Dude, you
but
can't
I had
do
a
that.
blast.
You can't give anything away.
No. Especially not with murder mysteries. And the other one, Rob, that I saw still hasn't any release date here, and it flopped at the box office, but I had a really good time, Rob. I watched Christie, the Sydney Sweeney boxing movie. And for me, totally nice movie. Had a good time with it. A lot of people say in the critical side that the movie is too long, but for me, actually, no, Rob, you need that 130 minutes. The good thing for me about Christie is actually, Rob, if you don't know that it's based on true events or the life of her, you can watch it totally without that knowledge. It doesn't open with inspired by true events or based on true events. Just says Christie. So it works for me totally as a standalone movie, even without the real backdrop that the movie has. For me, really, really nice. totally will buy it on physical media as soon as it will become available. So those were the 2 movies that I have seen. So 2 recommendations from my end for both of these movies. So if you love the Knives Out movies, Wake Up Dead Man shouldn't be any disappointment at all for you. And Christie, really nice one, but I haven't seen the other one, The Smashing Machine. I have not seen yet as a comparison to Christie. But Christie, really nice, really nice. So this was my 2 takes.
Well, that's good.
And Rob, I see you're already preparing stuff. So why didn't you show?
Hang on, I forgot to put you. I forgot that you can see me here. I'll turn on the live show. That you like the live show. I forgot to do that.
Yeah.
No, I was just taking things out of the wrappers so I could show them.
The wrappers. Yeah. So should perhaps I start, Rob? Because always people.
Yeah. Why don't you start?
Yeah. You know, shooting the shit for 1 hour and doesn't show anything. You know.
Oh, I know, right?
So I start, Rob. I show some titles, a little bit of the first horror. A great thriller that I saw, Rob. I forgot to take it out. Last week I showed you the movie Icefall with Joel Kinnaman, and I told you about the lack of verisimilitude considering the fake backdrops that they used, considering the movie playing on a snowfield or on a lake. This one is the complete opposite. For me, this has verisimilitude, Rob. I saw with Emma Thompson, Dead of Winter.
I've been dying to see
great
that.
Thriller. Yeah, totally nuts and bolts, like Mark Kermit would say. Nuts and bolts, thriller, totally at a blast. And it is shot in Finland, mostly. And there is a lot of finance from Germany gotten into the movie as well. And there is stuff that they finished in Cologne, as far as I saw in the end credits. So I had a really good time with the thriller. Don't want to give anything away, Rob. And it has a great sound design for me. So Dead of Winter. This was one of a few movies, Rob, where I actually had to put the volume down because the zero output of the movie was this intense. So really nice thriller, Dead of Winter. Then award season is just around the corner, and this movie popped up in some awards internationally, and I saw, wait, this is already out here in Germany, but I haven't seen it yet, Rob. The movie is called Singularity.
Oh yeah,
out here already. I think it's even nominated. I think in the sound category. I don't know if it was a Critics' Choice or something. So this movie popped up, and I did find out, Rob, it's already available here, but I haven't seen it yet. Singularity. So more for Academy stuff, for award stuff. To go back the other way, probably not eligible for any awards. Cat in the Bag. It is with Dave Bautista, Olga Kurylenko, and Samuel L. Jackson. The movie Afterburn. So from the cast, okay, but who knows, Rob, what my findings will tell me when I see it finally. Afterburn. Then a nice media book. Cat in the Bag for me. This is a Spanish. Let me just check if I'm not mistaken. No, it's actually, I think, a French movie. It says it is body horror, and the film is called Animal, also Animal. It's a media book. It's actually a 4K, and a Blu-ray in it. Just see. So there's something with a horse here. So totally Cat in the Bag. Animal, or Animale, perhaps in French. Then a steelbook that came into the post, to the letterbox. I got the Blues Brothers steelbook from the first one. And I was quite surprised. Sometimes I don't do the deep dive because it's a 3-disc set, actually. So we've got the 4K, the Blu-ray, and a bonus bonus disc. So, and it's really nice.
That's cool.
Back. So, steelbook. Then, well, I didn't get Hard-Boiled, unfortunately, which was on my most wanted list, actually, from the John Woo or the Golden Princess stuff. But at least, Rob, I've got the Killer from Shout. And it's nice that they did put another cover variation on the Emery.
That's the cover of the Laserdisc.
And it's a 3-disc set too, so the 4K, the Blu-ray, and special features for it. So the Killer, and it comes with a booklet too. So the Killer. So Rob, this was my first haul. Just quickly before I give it over to you, I want to give thanks to our showrunner, Les Doyle, who did send me already some Christmas greetings from Ireland. So thanks, Les, for that little unexpected postcard that I got from you. So this was my first haul, Rob.
Nice.
I give it over to you, my friend.
I think it's only appropriate that I begin with a gift myself. First of all,
it's always nice, Rob. It's around Christmas time.
It's
gifting
Christmas
yourself
time. Although this comes with some sadness. My man down under, our man down under, Kelvin Wellborn. Kelvin sent me Twins of Evil from Imprint. Now, as everyone knows, this is one of my very favorite Hammer horror movies. Now, I would say that this is not a great movie, but I love it. It is total pulp. It's got a naked blue lady, which you can, as Patrick Stewart would say in extras, you could see everything, which you couldn't when I was watching in standard def. But to see this, and this is it's one of the great box sets, of course, that they do, and Imprint does such a great job. This is their, for you spine freaks, Spine 52. And it comes with the disc itself. Of course, it has different artwork on the cover than it does on the regular cover. And it's a 2-disc set. It's got the 4K and it's got the Blu-ray. And unexpectedly, it comes with a wonderful hardcover book. Which has more artwork, so really nice, really great. Actually, pardon me, what am I saying? This is Twins of Evil, not Vampire Circus. Twins of Evil is actually, this is the best of the Karnstein Vampire trilogy. So I'm wrong. I don't know why I was thinking Vampire Circus, but Twins of Evil is the final. There's the Vampire Lovers, Lust for a Vampire, and Twins of Evil. This movie has boobs and gore galore, and of course it's got Peter Cushing in one of my favorite Hammer roles. So I was getting confused. I was talking about Vampire Circus. I'm thinking Twins. I'm looking at the box, Twins of Evil. My brain is misfiring. This booklet is actually really interesting. It's got a lot of great stills, but it also has shows how the movie was advertised around the world. And it's really nice. I mean, it's got like the why it was rated the way it was rated, and it's pretty neat. This is a great set, and of course, I now have to get Vampire Lovers and Twins of Evil in 4K. I mean, pardon me, I can't even speak today.
Dude.
Vampire Lovers and Lust for a Vampire. Sam, I'm vampired out. I'm hammered. I'm so okay. Vampire Circus is not part of the Karnstein Vampire trilogy. The 3 Karnstein Vampire movies for Hammer were, say it with me now, The Vampire Lovers, Lust for a Vampire, and Twins of Evil. It's like the Lord of the Rings of Hammer vampire movies. And this one is the best. This movie is awesome. And it's peak Hammer, and it's peak Peter Cushing, and it is amazing. So I suggest everybody get it if you are a fan. And I want to thank Kelvin for sending it to me. That was very cool. I do want to give a shout out to everyone who in Sydney and all of Australia today, because there was a horrifying attack against the Jewish community in Sydney at Bondi Beach, of all places, where I went to a million times when I lived down there. It's the middle of summer, and as more news comes out, I blame everybody that called for globalize the Intifada. I also want to say that this weekend, Friday night, very close to my house in my town, there was a drive-by shooting at a Jewish family's home that had Hanukkah decorations outside. There was a guy or multiple people in a car that shot into their house in a nice small town neighborhood just because they had Hanukkah decorations. 20 shots were fired into their house, and as the car sped off, they screamed, "Fuck the Jews," outside. And it was all caught on a camera in my neighborhood. So this is what the attack on the West, and make no mistake, October 7th in Israel was not just an attack against Israel, it was an attack against the Western world that has been fomented for a very long time by Islamist money. And everyone who there's going to be a reckoning coming, and everybody did not understand what all of this. It's been going on for 25 years. Now we're seeing the results of this. This has always been about eliminating Jews from the planet Earth. Always, make no mistake. And we also lost 2 servicemen in Syria. So anyway, not to get all political, but it's a little political for me when someone basically in my neighborhood, someone just randomly drove by and shot 20 bullets into their house. Now, being on YouTube and stuff and not being shy about who and what I am, and I'm not shy about that, but, we're getting into a position. I think it's time for me, I hate to say it, but it's time for me to get a concealed carry permit. I haven't had a gun since I owned a 9mm Smith & Wesson back in the day, which I could strip, take apart in the dark, and put back together, and I was a dead shot with it. I think I'm going to get a Sig Sauer this time, but I am going to get another firearm out of necessity, and I think that every Jew in the world should think about carrying concealed carry, because there's not a lot of us left, not compared to the enemy that we're fighting. So anyway, just a little editorialization. Now we move on to Lionsgate. I already did an unboxing of their American Psycho box, which is fantastic. You can see it on my channel, but of course, you open it up, it comes with business cards. Now, it is very similar to the box set that you sent me, Dieter, many moons ago, the other 4K. Now,
but the CD is better in yours, Rob, because in the German one, it was the original Louis and the News,
Yeah, they did put the actual CD, but now there's been some, unfortunately, there has been some controversy.
Okay.
Lionsgate made a mistake, and they put the old 4K in some of the packaging. So they have new special features on this disc that Lionsgate Limited made, but the disc that's in this box set, and I checked mine, is the old version.
Okay.
They didn't put the new version in. And look, these mistakes happen, but they're happening more and more and more because, unfortunately, the people that are working in a lot of these places, and Lionsgate Limited, I think, has been doing a fantastic job. And I keep hearing people complaining. Somebody made a video complaining about the price of Lionsgate Limited stuff. But, they've been spending the extra money, and they went all out with their American Psycho disc. So they did make a mistake. But I would say this, they're no longer selling at retail. Some of their movies come out at retail through Amazon, like the Amazon Steelbook for The Long Walk, which is topping the charts. Yeah. But they're not going into Best Buy anymore. So their margins are much lower, which is why they're selling direct to the consumer. And for the most part, so there was a mistake with American Psycho. They will alleviate this mistake. I don't know if I got to call Lisa and say, hey. But I'm very happy with the box set that they did, and the other 2 releases that I received from them. The 25th anniversary of Dogma.
Ooh, nice.
So it is, of course.
Go full frame, Rob. Go full frame.
Here you go. Sorry. Yes, I should be going full frame. Yeah. So nice. Obviously, Dogma was, Kevin Smith was able to liberate it from the Weinsteins.
Awesome.
And here is, of course, the Buddy Christ on the cover. This is a great looking steelbook, I have to say. See, this is why Lionsgate Limited will always have my love and undying affection, because they really think about that. And you open it up, I mean, they got, and then of course the digital code. Somebody probably just stole my digital code. There is a booklet. It's a great booklet, Revelations of the Easily Offended. So then, of course, you've got
perfect for our times,
the Last Supper picture that is going through the back of the steelbook. So this is a really great release from
probably his biggest movie, I would think.
Yeah. So after 25 years, you can finally get Dogma from Lionsgate Limited. Now, I should point out that Australia's Umbrella is also putting this out, and they have like an extra 100-minute. Oh, oops! I put this on upside down. 100-minute documentary on how they did the effects work. Vinny Gostini's work is featured. He did some work on me for the Hills, or for the for White Devils. So this is out. Great package. Highly recommended. And then maybe the piece de resistance. I mean, some people would say Dogma is. But even though I have multiple versions of this, you know.
One more can't hurt, Rob.
Although I think I'm going to gift this to Alvaro. Of course, he's never seen Battle Royale. Another, I really love. I love the artwork on the steelbook.
Yeah.
It's really well done. Of course, if you've seen Kill Bill, you know one of the actresses in this.
Banger.
I mean, this movie is really one of the great. And now this is a four disc set. It does in fact come with the director's cut and the theatrical version.
Yeah.
And wait a minute. Does this have oh no, it's in both, it's both Blu-ray and in 4K.
Yeah.
So that's what you get. That's what you get with this. So very exciting that Battle Royale has now come out in a new edition. I don't think it supplants the box set that Arrow put out, because that, of course, has the swill that is Battle Royale 2 Requiem. But you know, whatever. If you are a completist,
design-wise, this is great.
Yes, and then as you
and
know,
it's a little bit smaller, Rob, than the Arrow box. If you just want to have the movie, you know.
Yeah, if you just want the movie. And then, of course, I got you know how I love my Super Deluxe Edition music. All this great music from the 80s that's been remixed in Dolby Atmos. It's incredible. I did get some things from Super Deluxe Edition. Fantastic album if you're a fan. Brian Ferry's Boys and Girls. This is, of course, and they send you an O-ring. These are slipcases.
Yeah.
And this is great. I love their packaging. It's that matte finish. And then, of course, you have a booklet, and of course the album, and it is remixed. I love this record. This is a very, if you put this and Roxy Music's Avalon on a play, you know, so you play all the way through.
Yeah.
You'll have a good night with your significant other. That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying, you can't lose. And then, very excitingly, they sent out, now these are not exclusive to Super Deluxe Edition, but they're new Atmos remixes. I'm a huge New Order fanatic. And Movement, one of their first records, obviously.
Nice.
Low Life, and then Brotherhood. Now we're missing, people are going to say, well, Rob, where's Power, Corruption, and Lies? That's a good question. I don't know. For people that don't know Power, Corruption, and Lies, that was the album that came out after Movement, but before Low Life. And people think that New Order's Blue Monday was on that album. It's actually not on that album. Same era, but Blue Monday was released only at first as a 12-inch single and didn't appear on a New Order album until their collection in 1987. So, but I still love Power, Corruption, and Lies. It's a great record. Loved getting these 4 discs from Super Deluxe Edition. Frankie Goes to Hollywood's Welcome to the Pleasure Dome, which is my most eagerly awaited release of the year in terms of re-releases for music, is been delayed a little bit. And then I still have to figure out how I can get me that big box set from Frankie.
Yeah, that was the big one, yeah.
Yeah, I got to get that from the UK. I desperately need that in the propaganda box set that came out. But there you go. So that's the first haul. That's my first haul.
Okay.
So there you go.
Do we have any super chats? If not, Rob, then I can continue.
That's a good question. I do not know. I
don't think so. I think I didn't see any.
No, there's a few. Danzig 1979 has been a member for 23 months. Cult Cinema 83 says, when is the next member chat, Rob? Roberto has been doing construction and stuff. We were going to try and do it yesterday. It'll probably be next week. Martino sent 5 Burnettwork memberships. Now, it's not really physical media related, but Martino sent me he sent me the Lego set of Jaws. The Jaws Lego set.
Legos,
which is awesome. You've got the orca and you have Bruce the shark coming out of the orca.
Okay.
I
think I know that set. Yeah.
Yeah, he was talking to me about different Lego sets. Of course, the Enterprise D came out, the next generation Enterprise D, but I was an idiot. If you didn't get that shit the day it came out, like that, I was a day late and $1 short. It's gone. I'm sure they'll make more, but the first day release came with the shuttlecraft from Times Squared and the El-Baz shuttlecraft, and I really wanted to get that too. It's gone, man. It's probably twice as much on the secondary market, and there's multiple.
What was the price, Rob, for the Enterprise?
It was $500. Well. It was, but the saucer section separated, and there's a lot of secondary market companies that are making a lighting kit for it. So Martino was asking me about that, and I was like, "Oh, way to rub it in." Yeah, I didn't get it, but one day, because you know what? It's really funny. A lot of people complained about the look of it. There was a lot of people hated it, but when you saw it actually built, and people were showing how it's separated and how it actually looked, it's a great Lego set. Now Martino has filled me up with. He got me Playmobil stuff. Martino gave me the Playmobil Enterprise, which is
Playmobil Enterprise
right there. Which I'd missed the deflector dish, but I found it. I realized, oh my god! And the Klingon Bird of Prey, and he also sent me the Magnum PI, Magnum PI's Ferrari. He sent me the Aston Martin DB5 from Goldfinger. These are all Playmobil sets, and the A-Team van Knight Rider, I think.
Yeah.
Knight
Rider
and Knight Rider, all licensed Playmobil stuff, and it's awesome. I have a Playmobil shelf, but the DB5 needs to be moved onto my Playmobil shelf. But apparently they didn't do well with their licensed product. So, I mean, the Playmobil Enterprise that they made is one of the great Star Trek toys ever made. Now, I know it's only Playmobil, but if I had that toy when I was 5 years old, I would still be playing with it every single day today. It's awesome. It's absolutely awesome. So Martino has hooked me up with all this stuff. I always forget. He always tells me might, and then a box shows up. I'm like, what is this? Some giant box, and the Lego box came in like 3 different boxes. And also he sent, because he's cheeky, he sent me a little Lego people gazebo, like holiday gazebo that you can put on next to your Christmas tree. I mean, Martino, for my birthday, he came to visit me. He brought me a Lego flower set. Have you seen this? Lego makes flower sets of roses and stuff. I'm telling you, Martino's the man. But he did. He brought me cigars, a Batman Lego set, and Lego flowers for Elizabeth. Not real flowers.
Or toy maker here.
But Lego flowers. Well, on Martino's, you can see on my channel, but I would direct you to Martino's YouTube channel. He made a whole series of films with his Playmobil Lego or Playmobil Star Trek. Well, he made them with all kinds of action figures, which I would highly recommend. It's called Play Trek. Look up Martino Simone's YouTube channel and watch the entire series of Play Trek and his making of. He made a making of Play Trek, which is, you just got to see it. Such wit and verve. And of course, he lives within driving distance to the GoldenEye Dam, which I need to go visit. I need to come to Europe next year. Next year is my plan, European trip. I'm going to go visit you, going to visit Martino and drive his cars. It's going to be great. Actually, I'll come pick you up and we'll go visit Martino. So
I'm not jumping off the dam, Rob. No way.
I would jump off the dam. Oh, another thing I got, speaking of gift, this is physical media.
Yeah.
Chris Gore, unexpectedly, I got a gift from Chris Gore.
Yeah.
I've been, he sent me, this is too awesome. He found, and it's still sealed, from the 70s, 1979, a Star Trek The Motion Picture era comic book and record. This is Dinosaur Planet. I mean, and it says on the back, this action-packed book and record set includes a 20-page full-color illustrated book and a 7-inch 45 RPM record. The record follows the book word for word in a special signal. I used to love these when I was a kid. Power Records put them out. I don't think this is Power Records, but it's different. But it's Star Trek The Motion Picture, still sealed. He also, knowing my love of slipcase books, he sent me the Folios Society slipcased 2001: A Space Odyssey. This is dope. I mean, it's really got this really cool spot UV printed cover. Folio Society stuff is great. Illustrated. The Discovery.
Very cool.
That was very nice of him to do. This will go right on the shelf. So thank you. Thank you, Chris Gore. And that is the first haul. Yep. That's the first haul.
Okay. So Super Chats, are we through, Rob?
We are. Wait, I have to check. Yes.
We were at Martino Silmoni.
We're Martino Silmoni. And then let's see. And he did gift 5 Burnettwork memberships, so that was very nice. And Colt Cinema wins the next membership chat next week. The pre-Christmas, probably the last one of the year. You never know. And let's see, what else? Is there anything else I want to mention? No, not necessarily. Right now. I have nothing scintillating to say other than I'm really enjoying my experiment dropping into the AI world and making my AI album.
Yeah.
Which has been a lot of fun. I finished another banger that I haven't put up yet. I have a lot of thoughts. I'm going to do a stream about my experience making an AI record, an AI album. And
some songs left, Rob. 10. You need to do 10 at least.
So far, I just want you to know, so far I've done 6, but I've only released. So there's Run Lola Run, or pardon me, Run Jessica Run. There's Gideon's Requiem, about all that jazz. I released that. I just released The Fifth Dimension, which is my Billie Eilish Twilight Zone song, and then I released the Ballad of Kurt and John. Did you hear that?
Not yet, Rob. I'm waiting for the whole album.
That is a song about Kurt Russell and John Carpenter's collaboration.
Yeah.
Another song I finished is called Candle in the Dark, which is my full-on goth anthem that's based, no one's going to know this, but the whole song is based on Carl Sagan's book The Demon Haunted World. And so I've been using, I have a whole process. I'm using multiple AI platforms and to do everything, but it's a whole big process, and it takes me a long time because I'm co-writing the lyrics with AI, and the lyrics are what probably takes the longest, and then getting the song right. And then you use 2 different music programs to actually make the music, and then I go to another program to remaster the music. So it's a full-on process, and I have a whole different perspective on AI than I did before. Not necessarily more or less favorable, just different. But I'm really enjoying myself, and I would say this. There is no way in God's green earth I would ever be able to make an album. I'm not a musician, but I like music, and when you hear the process that I'm using, it's pretty extensive. And who's going to make a 6-minute song about Kurt Russell and John Carpenter's collaboration?
You.
That's right.
You.
Just only me.
Yeah.
If you watch the Oral Knots video about Bane. Yes, only you. So there you go. Oh, Major Chai Chai says, as I'll be busy next Sunday, I want to watch Dieter, Max, and the chat. Happy holidays and New Year. have to dash early. I'm going to a Jane Austen celebration. Major Chai Chai, you can see her on my Instagram. She sent me a video, an out of the theater reaction to Dust Bunny, which you should go check out. And yeah, so there you go.
Nice.
So why don't you go? Say some more stuff.
Okay, second haul. Second haul from me. We start with this one, which not a remake, but more of a comedy is right around the corner. I don't know when the theatrical release, the street date is, but the original one came out in 4K. I got the Anaconda steelbook, Rob, in 4K. Isn't it shiny, Rob?
Yes.
Guilty pleasure.
It is shiny.
Guilty pleasure. So, boat inside. But they probably have not fixed the shot when the waterfall is, flowing up. Anaconda. Steelbook. Then this one, I still haven't seen it. I bought some titles from my neighbors, from friends. And there it is not called Blackback. It's called The Insider.
I love that movie. That's one of my favorite movies of this year.
Oh, nice, Rob. Nice. I still haven't seen it. So 4K and Blu-ray. And like I said, it's called actually Insider in France. Then, Rob, I told you about this movie that I saw it digitally, and I'm still waiting for the announcement from America when it will come out as a American Blu-ray, but I couldn't wait. I know this is just to have it because it doesn't have English subtitles, but it's a nice digipack. I bought Tatami. So this is a nice digi. Not a 4K, it's just a Blu-ray and a DVD. And it comes with a booklet. And like I said, Rob, let me just see where she is. Here, the female trainer of her, you know her from Holy Spider. This is a digipack. And comes with then a French, of course, booklet for the movie, which I thoroughly enjoyed. And unlike Dust Bunny 3-1, this is 43-1. So the old one, and in actually black and white. But I totally love the movie. But I'm still waiting for an American release because I forgot where I saw the trailer for it on an American release. So Tatami. Then in the theaters here playing is actually the new Luc Besson movie, Dracula. And I found out it's already out in France. So I bought the 4K. There's actually not a 4K and a Blu-ray. There's just a 4K.
Have you watched it yet?
I have seen it, Rob. Unfortunately, it's not the big return that we all are waiting and hoping for. Luc Besson, it still has, the whimsical element that Luc always does flow into his movies. It's fine, Rob. It's fine. It's tough because the main actor does a nice job, but he's not really that charismatic for me. And what totally for me is not working are CGI gargoyles, Rob, in the movie. He could totally have left them out for my perspective, since he does do a more romantic angle on the movie. And for me, actually, the best actress is one of the side characters who plays Maria. She, for me, was a total blast in the movie. So it is a mixed bag, Rob. It is a watchable movie, totally, but it's not, I would say, seek it out immediately. So, unfortunately, not the big comeback for Luc Besson. But this was actually a pretty big production considering Europe, Rob. It has a budget about, I think, 45 million euros. So it's not really a cheap one considering European movies. And I actually would have preferred, even if it's a cool idea here, actually the Blu-ray cover, which, yes, it's, the flying head cover, but I said, okay, if it's a 4K, I will get a 4K, of course. Dracula. So mixed bag, Rob. Unfortunately, mixed bag. And staying with Luc Besson, because I think it was already out as a 4K, but it says, I think, this new transfer. I love the steelbook. So I got Le Grand Bleu.
Yeah, I need to get
the
that.
new steelbook. that came out because I think they say it's new transfers. And there are 2 discs. So we've got the theatrical version and the director's cut and the theatrical cut. So this is actually a 4-disc set, but they are on top of each other. So it looks like a 2-disc set, but it's actually a 4-disc set. Steelbook, Grande Bleu. And this Arrow one from Arrow came a little bit later to the party for me. I've got the mask from Arrow.
Oh, nice.
With their New Line deals, stuff that they got from New Line. And I love that they have another that you can switch out, of course, the artwork to another one for the Amoray. So we have a 4K. Then we have some art cards, which actually are black and white here. For the mask is a little bit strange to have art cards in black and white, considering how colorful the movie is. So we have the art cards, and of course there's a probably okay, just the card check, Rob. I haven't checked the card. Oh, okay, it's already out. 3 Extremes. You know, we always need to check what Arrow is promoting for the future. And if this is nice, with the Edge City Tribune, we have the booklet for the Mask, the Arrow edition release. And let me just see. Oh, there's the poster. There's the poster.
Right.
So this is my second haul, Rob. And I see our headliner is waiting in the wings, Rob.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
So
indeed.
Arrow, the Mask.
Well, that's good. And a fine haul it is. You know, I think you've done a respectable...
Second haul, Rob. I'm not finished yet. I'm not finished, but
Okay.
I will wait. I will wait.
All right. Well, Walter Whitewalker has a little gift for us, but here it is.
Where is the Sea Wing?
Allow me. Enjoy.
There we go. So, the Sea Wing is open. Mr. Max Allan Collins has joined us.
I guess I'm a little early today. I didn't want to take anything away from Dieter's haul because it was all very interesting today.
Well, that's okay.
Considering my haul, just quick one, Rob. If you can refer back to me. Look what I get, Max. You know, my Kickstarter disc for Black Creek, signed. And I know you will say, but it's actually the standard version. The cover is nicer. Wait on that, Max. Wait on that. Yeah, the standard cover may be nicer, but that doesn't mean that I got a signed picture with that cover. You know?
Wow, look at that.
Just saying, Max. And let me just see what I got else. I got some storyboard artworks from the Kickstarter campaign. So I got my Black Creek Max from Cynthia as the Kickstarter campaign. And this is the exclusive one for the backer, so there are some special features on this release. But back to you, back to our headliner. Just taking a little bit.
Dieter, nobody likes a show off.
Yeah, I know, Max. I know.
I'm now I'm so jealous. Well, I'll muster my energy and go on, even though I'm that jealous.
Yeah.
Both of you had things today that I want to buy, so you're costing me.
Okay.
It's costing me money to watch this show.
Oh.
But at least I'm on it now, because it used to cost me money.
So that means
watching.
we don't get the. So that means that we don't get the Maltese Falcon for free now. If it costs you money.
Well, I want to welcome you all, Rob. But I don't mean to bring things down at all, but I wanted to endorse your political comments today.
Oh, thank you.
I didn't know anything about that, and that was quite sobering to hear about.
The Australian premier made a statement about the event and did not mention at all that it was a Hanukkah thing that was attacked, nor that it was Jews that were murdered. And this is what's going on around the whole world. And it started a long time ago, but that's what globalized the Intifada means. And we're seeing that. This weekend, shots fired in my neighborhood, in my town, here, into a house with Hanukkah decorations out front, which means probably that there were kids inside. And then, as they sped off, fuck the Jews. Well,
there's a lot about what's going on, and we won't get super political here, but there's a lot about what's going on in America in particular, where some things seem to be starting to kick in to let people know the results of their, shall we say, political choices.
Yes.
And
also, these have been engineered over the last 25 years, and we're seeing the results of it, and engineered by bad actors who have no interest in seeing Western civilization endure.
Well, when it's in your neighborhood, Rob, it's, as far as I'm concerned, and I bet Dieter agrees, it strikes too close to home. And it does seem that people have to have things, not you, of course, Rob, but I mean, people do have to have things hit them somewhat personally for these points to be made.
Well, I mean,
it's not in the abstract. It's not just some stuff that you see on TV.
No, and we've seen in just this year. I mean, Tim Pool, who I don't know if people know him. He's another political YouTuber, former reporter, skateboarder turned reporter, and traveled around the world. And then he developed his big YouTube channel. He had a gunman come to his home compound this past week. And when you're out on YouTube, I don't want to find myself in Oliver Stone's talk radio. But when you have, the thing that really got to me is there's door camera footage of this car that rolls up in front of this house. They roll down the windows and they just fire indiscriminately 20 shots in, and you're watching this on a dash cam. And the house is right off the street. It's not, ours is a little bit inset. But you look at this and you realize that in the United States, there are people, we've become so degraded as a people that we're desensitized to the fact that somebody, I don't know why they were mad or what possessed them to do this, is willing to compromise their own lives by shooting randomly into some stranger's house. And not thinking like, do you know what's going to happen to you if you get caught? But they're not thinking, and this is just some casual thing that somebody just decided to do in this bucolic suburban neighborhood. And if that's happening here, and we've seen it, it's happening all over the place. Don't make no mistake, this has been engineered over the long term, mostly in the last 25 years. And the fact that we allow Qatari money into our higher universities with the caveat that nobody will criticize Qatar. It's all part of the same thing. Israel is on the front line of defending Western civilization. They always have been. And now the chickens are coming home to roost. Because let's face it, everybody's always wanted the Jews dead for 3,000 years. And people just bide their time and wait till they can start executing Jews again. And that's what this is about. And it's not about free Palestine, because half of them want all the Jews dead too. Make no mistake. It's built into the religion. And I, as somebody who's had a religious education my whole life, and I don't quote unquote look Jewish, I've heard it my whole life. I have heard it. I've seen it over and over and over again. And in my neighborhood, shooting up a Jewish home. Of all the neighborhoods in California, it's my neighborhood that they shot up Friday night.
That's it. Yeah. I think at this time of year, it's not a bad time to think about there's kindness in the world, and there definitely is kindness in the world.
Well, and this time of year, remember, is also religious time of year.
Right.
Where all the certain religions have been emboldened around the world, and we've allowed that to happen. And
there's cruelty, and there's cruelty in the world.
But there's some religions are way more cruel than others. And
I don't disagree.
They're not all the same. And until we start to recognize, it's not, culture is different than ethnicity. And there are cultures that are incompatible with the West. And, if I might, and this is not, just open your eyes. How many places around the world do you have to look? Germany, France, Sweden, the UK, Spain, United States.
Hard agree, Rob.
Australia.
Hard agree.
So, just open your eyes. And by the way, this has been happening for a long time. This is nothing new. It's ancient, and it's continuing to go on. But I wonder, I'll tell you one thing. I am going to get a concealed carry permit, and I am going to start to carry.
Well, I'll tell you this, too. I mean, I'm very much a person in favor of gun control, all of that kind of stuff. I'm left of center, so I embrace all that stuff. For the first time in my life, I said to my wife, I think we better get a gun.
Well, my big fear is civility, the loss of civility. And if somebody in my neighborhood is going to drive by houses and just shoot randomly into them, I mean, it's time to arm up, because that time is now. And I hate to be that way, but I haven't owned a gun in 20 years. And to be honest, I don't think there's a choice now.
Well, I'll tell you, this is kind of a funny, sad anecdote that kind of leads me into what I'm going to talk about today. But the famous writer Mickey Spillane is going to be talked about in some of what I'm going to present. He's very famous for Mike Hammer, his detective character, carrying a 45 automatic. When I was visiting Mickey, maybe 15 years ago, this is kind of a mistake. He offered me. He had like 3 45 automatic Colts that were. He said, "These are Mike Hammer's Colts. Do you want one?" And I said, of course, I had to get on an airplane. So
yeah. There you go.
But I said, and I've kind of regretted it, because I wouldn't have gone around shooting it. I'd put it on the shelf and put something, or put it in a frame and say Mike Hammer's 45. Right? But but honestly, I've never ever thought that, because I don't like having the idea of a firearm in the house, because I make my wife mad at me every now and then. She has a temper. I don't know if I want a loaded weapon in the house. But now I'm looking at it somewhat differently, and I understand where you're coming from. Speaking of Mickey Spillane, I am talking today about, largely, see if I can remember how to do this, the Maikuhama trilogy. And Maikuhama is the Mike Hammer, Mike Hammer in Japanese.
Now, who put that out?
It's 2 people have it out. The one that I bought and the one that I gave you artwork for is from Third Window Films. And they're heavy hitters. They're really. It's a really good company, in my opinion. I don't always like what they put out, but if I'm attracted to it, I'm going to grab it. There's also, and now that's I believe Region B release. It's also out from Vinegar Syndrome, and both of the discs, and that's of course Region 1, I guess, or Region A. But both of them are loaded with, I don't know if it's the same stuff, but they're both very loaded video sets with commentaries and interviews and so on. The movies go back to 1996. I think it's 96, 97, 98. They did one a year. It's a trilogy. The director is Kaizu Hayakashi. I knew him from a movie called Zippang, but I'm not totally familiar with everything he did. the idea of these movies is that, I should remind people or they may not know this, because Mickey Spillane was huge in the 20th century, but this is the 21st century. As little as I like the 21st century, this is the 21st century. But Mickey was at that time the best-selling writer, not just mystery writer, in the world. And here's a Japanese copy of one of his books, if this doesn't get you demonetized.
We'll just show it anyway.
Very cool.
See if I can get it where I doesn't say. I don't know how to do this stuff. Dieter's a master, but I'm kind of, but anyway, I have a bunch of his books from all over the world. When I was visiting him, he had a gigantic bookshelf of all his foreign editions, and just said, "Oh, Max, take one of each if you want them." So, what do you think I did? Free shit.
You can take them on a plane.
Those I could take on the plane, although I can't read them. The movies there's 3 movies. The Most Terrible Time of My Life. These are really wonderful titles. Stairway to the Distant Past. Isn't that a wonderful title? And The Trap, which I think there was who did one recently? I forget. Not this good. These are really good movies, and the first one is in black and white. And I suppose you would say it has more overtly noirish scenes, and charmingly, the detective's office is above a traditional movie theater that shows vintage movies, and has a big CinemaScope sign in the outside. And if anybody wants to visit the private eye, who's a young guy, kind of a Gen Z private eye, he's in his office with pictures on the wall of it's dangerous for me to say this, but there's Sam Spade, played by Humphrey Bogart, and there's there's Joe Shahito. Joe Shishito, is that how you say that, Rob? He was in all of the Seijun Suzuki movies.
Yeah.
Brandon to Kill. He's in Detective Bureau 2, 3.
Love him.
He's a guy who was the tough guy actor in Japan for years and years and years, and he's in the movies, who's kind of like the mentor to the young detective. But anyway, the office is in above this movie theater. And when we enter the office, we enter through the movie theater and go up to the projection area. And this is what I love. If somebody comes and wants to be a client, the woman downstairs will not let them go to see the detective, Mike Ohama, unless they buy a ticket. Which to me is just hilarious. And they say, "Well, I'm not coming to see the movie. No, everybody pays." And so they have to buy a ticket, and then the woman kind of tries to get them to go in and see the movie, but they're going upstairs to the private detective's office. The first movie's in black and white, and the second movie is in color, which is really kind of cool to watch the first. You watch the first one, and then suddenly the world opens up in this second movie, and the third one, as I say, is also in color. Now, very much, these movies really do play off of Spillane to a good degree, thematically. But they are their own thing. They definitely have, they kind of go back and forth. This is interesting because we talk tone here a lot, don't we? They go back and forth between being very kind of overtly noir, overtly private eye, American crime. There's a jazzy private eye score right out of Henry Mancini on Peter Gunn. And so they have that element. But day-to-day life, when the guy's not being a detective, day-to-day life is very much in downtown Yokohama, which is where it takes place. That's actually key, Yokohama, because it's a city that's very multicultural. And one of the things that all these movies deal with are conflicts between the various Asian ethnicities, which, I mean, we kind of think of it as just Asian, but there's Japanese and the Chinese have a pretty good history of not being happy with each other, and then Korea is in the mix. So you actually, in the first movie, have a conflict between a Hong Kong gangsters, mainline gangsters, and Japanese gangsters. Each that are, it's almost like a three-way mob war. The first movie is all about friendship, and friendship is definitely a splaying theme, because he goes out, his best friend who had given an arm for him in the war is murdered, and Mike Hammer responds to the death of his friend, and so that element is in here. The friendship here has to do with a young waiter who is treated as a foreigner because he's from Taiwan, I believe, and because there's Japanese Chinese prejudice, and the detective Mike Hama bonds with him and actually steps in to keep him from getting into a fight with a guy who seems to be much more threatening than this young man is. But what Micah Hammer sees is that he was going for a weapon. He was going for basically a knife. And in protecting this guy, stopping this guy from getting into this terrible jam, his finger gets cut off, which is, of course, a Yakuza thing. And then there's a bunch of comedy, and there's a surprising amount of comedy in these movies, because there's a whole thing about, well, we got to retrieve this finger so you can go to the hospital before a dog eats it. I mean, literally, they have to take the finger away from this dog. So very interesting stuff going on here, and an interweaving of tone and themes that is unusual and hard to pull off. The second movie is more about family, and it's family in the sense there's this uncle who's played by Joe Shahido, who's kind of the mentor, and it's hilarious because though he's the uncle in Swarm, there's one scene where he just kind of beats the crap out of the kid just to show him, to remind him that he's the imitation, and there's no problem with the kid getting, the young man, he's probably 25, 28, having his uncle beat the crap out of him, and it's in public too, which is, it's just kind of, it's like, it's not even a private thumping, So there's all kinds of fun things going on in these movies. Now, the family is also the group of people around him. He has, whereas Mike Hammer has Velda, his secretary, who there's a love, he eventually marries her. This is about a younger sister, who he wants to make enough money to send to college.
Sure.
And then there are various friends around him, and a restaurant he hangs around in, and so on. There's also, interestingly, a cop friend who's also an adversary. He's sort of like the Pat Chambers character. You know how all private eyes have a cop friend, and they often have an adversary. And this guy is both an adversary and a friend. It's kind of weird. Now, what does he have what does Mike Ohama have in common with Mike Hammer? They have bad tempers. This kid blows, so that when the cop adversary gives him a bad time, he just explodes instead of just like meekly backing off. That's interesting. The third one, which is called The Trap, is a serial killer story. Now, the first movie is pretty real. The second movie, the Stairway to Distant Past, where we find out that this detective character and his sister were kind of abandoned by the mother, who was involved with a mafia, with a Yakuza boss. And they always have felt, particularly the detective, abandoned and really angry with this woman who in their childhood just disappeared. What we find out is that she didn't really have any choice, and she had arranged for them to have somebody kind of looking over them, not living with them, but just making sure they were staying okay. So that is and then she comes. This shows you how wacky these movies are. She comes back to reunite with the kids, but when she does it because she's appearing as a stripper locally, which is, so that's odd. Mom's back and she's stripping. Okay. So I mean, these are I would give these my highest recommendation for anybody that likes Asian cinema. And so that's part of the family aspect of the second movie. And also there's a whole thing about, there's a very surrealistic, it's blatantly surrealistic. It does not pretend to be part of the realistic movie that the detective just wanders through because he has to meet with this guy who had been the Yakuza person who had looked over him from a distance. And it's absolutely a fantasy sequence, and yet it takes place in the midst of a quote unquote real story. Very unusual and tough to pull off. And that's even more exaggerated in the third movie, which is a serial killer movie, and it gets pretty rough sometimes. And it also involves one of the recurring characters, a taxi driver, apparently dying. He turns out at the end not to have died. He gets shot in the body a couple times. Yeah, but a couple of minor heart wounds. What's that going to do to you? But in terms of the movie, he's thought to be dead. He's thought to be dead, and the guy's girlfriend, who he just absolutely loves, I'm talking about the detective's girlfriend, is kidnapped and held hostage, and so he goes off totally like Mike Hammer. And it's a very Spillane ending, down in a sewer and confrontations. Now, here's something very interesting. The serial killer, I'm going to go right up front. I did not ever tip to this till I read about it afterwards. The actor playing the detective also plays the serial killer.
Wow.
And I didn't even know that had been the case. I mean, that to me, that was just brain frying when I found out about it. There's a bunch of connections. Again, the Spillane connections also include some connections to the Kiss Me Deadly movie, the Robert Aldrich movie, that is one of the major American film noirs. He drives a sporty little convertible like Mike Hammer does in Kiss Me Deadly. And again, he's hot-headed. What else did I want to mention to you about this? No, I think that pretty well covers it. There is a TV spinoff that was done in Japan, and it ran 11 or 12 episodes, and it wasn't called Maikuhama, it was called Maiku Yokohama. And but it was the same actor. The director was not involved in it. The same actor, and there is apparently one of these available, not on physical media, I'm sorry to say, but it is. You can get it on. There's a TV movie, 2 episodes or something put together that you can find on Amazon Prime, and it is called. I don't know what it's called, but if you can track this down pretty easily. Again, the actor's name is Masatoshi Nagase. So I thought this was great. So thank you, Third Window, and thank you.
Could you show the box again, Max? Could you show the box again?
The box is
okay,
and it has a booklet. It's nothing great.
Yeah,
but it's a Blu-ray. It's a 4K restoration, but it's just a Blu-ray. Looks great though. Looks great. Awesome. And the color ones, particularly the last one is really strong. I mean, they look really, really great. A fun thing is that the director did not know he was going to get to do anything more than he conceived it as a trilogy. He did, but he said I could only sell it one at a time. He had to sell the first one first. So he made the first movie in black and white, and then he made a trailer for the movie that didn't exist yet. He made a trailer for the second movie and announces it at the end of the first movie.
Clever cookie.
I thought it was great. And then the second movie also has a trailer in color that's added on. He did great. It's a great set. It's really great. I wanted to jump to just mention this basically, the French Noir Collection 2 from Kino Lorber. I have 2 commentaries with my pal Heath Holland on here.
I showed this last week, by the way.
Yeah.
It's great set.
And I appreciate that. There's one I've seen the 2. I have watched the 2 that I did commentaries for, which is
I would hope so.
I thought was big of me.
I hope you're one of those people.
I have there's one on here I haven't seen yet, but the one that I have seen that I didn't do a commentary for is called The Beast is Loose.
That's what she said.
That's right. And I guess it's 8. I'm not going to try to read the French title, but it has Lino Ventura, who's terrific. He's really good. I have to say, this movie, of the 2, I would rather have done I like the 2 movies I did, but this is the best movie on the set that I've seen so far. And it actually is this cover depicts the beast is loose. And briefly, the premise is that there's an ex-gangster who had gotten who in the resistance during World War II had rehabilitated his reputation and been a hero. And so he's running a really nice restaurant with his wife. It's incredibly idyllic. He's got 2 kids. And the government comes in and grabs him and tells him, you've got to do a job for us. And he fights doing it, but they know he can be the one who can get inside with one of his old gangster friends. So they force him to go undercover against his will. In fact, they frame him and put him in jail. This is the government. This is the good guys. Frame him, put him in jail, and the only way he can get out, is by agreeing to go do this undercover job. Incredibly interesting premise, and the movie could not go more interesting ways. It plays on all of the, let's say, the noir tropes, which is kind of a word I hate, but everybody uses it. But the noir tropes, and turns every one of them on its head by the end of the movie. And it also uses locations, French locations. It's a bunch of it's in Normandy. So here's this resistance hero who's taken back to who's in Normandy and the cliffs, and it's just fucking incredible. And you can quote me. So I highly recommend that. Now, obviously, thematically, what this is about is Christmas, right? Back to Mickey's point. I, the Jury. This has been out for about a year, I think. This comes from Classic Flicks. It is a 3-disc set. There is a 3D disc. There is a 4K disc, and there is a Blu-ray disc.
Blu-ray.
And there are more special features than you can imagine. It rivals The Hills Run Red, and you know what a good disc that was for commentaries.
Yes.
And special features.
Yes, I do.
It's a very underrated movie. Now, I probably fell in love with the Private Eye form when I was 10 years old. That's when the TV networks were doing nothing but Private Eye shows. They had done Westerns, Gunsmoke and all that stuff. And then from 58 to about 61, all they seemed to do for series were crime shows, Private Eye shows. And so that's where I saw Darren McGavin playing Mike Hammer, and on TV seeing Biff Elliott as Mike Hammer in I, the Jury. And I loved that movie as a kid, and that started with this whole love affair I've had with Spillane and sent me, into writing mystery fiction. And loving and somewhat specializing in Private Eye. This movie has been impossible to see in 3D since it was first released. It did not until Classic Flicks brought it out did it have any kind of official release, and it gets kind of a bad rap because Biff Elliott is a guy. Did you know he was on a Star Trek episode? Do you know what he was on?
No.
The Horta episode.
Oh, that's right. Right, you told me that.
He
Devil
gets
in the
killed.
Dark.
He gets killed right away.
Yeah.
but he's in it. He's in it. So he's a Star Trek guy, and he went on to have a very good career, but as a secondary actor. But this is his lead performance. It was not terribly well received, even though the movie was a hit, because everybody who read these first-person books about Mike Hammer kind of pictured themselves, I think, or pictured a superhero kind of character.
Yeah.
That it was hard to satisfy the audience. But it's pretty faithful to Mickey's book I, the Jury, which is one of the huge bestsellers of the 1950s, and incredibly controversial and violent violent in a way that only a veteran, World War II veteran, could have brought home with him. A lot of sex. I mean, Mike Hammer was always sleeping with, he sleeps with his clients. He sleeps with with the villain, with the femme fatale. He sleeps with everybody who's a beautiful woman. He's non-discriminating in that sense.
Why not?
Yeah, and so they were of their era dirty books. If you go back and look at the first episode of Happy Days, all the boys are passing around copies of I, the Jury to read under the covers with a flashlight. So this was a big deal in its day. It holds up really well. It's gotten better reviews for Biff Elliott, who's a roughneck in the movie. But Mike Hammer was a roughneck. It has Peggy Castle, who was one of the most beautiful actresses of her era. Elisha Cook Jr. is in it, who was in a movie called The Maltese Falcon, which you may know about.
Well,
Robert.
Max, that really brings me to something that I was going to hold off. I was going to hold off on this, and I figured that we all know that on January 6th, guess what happens? Do you know what happens?
Is it your birthday, Rob?
It is not my birthday. It is not my birthday.
It was everyday mix.
It is the day that The Return of the Maltese Falcon, the novel by Max Allan Collins, is being released to the public. And I'm very excited about that. And I just realized I erased for the show.
Did you erase it? You don't have a running gag anymore?
I'll get it back. So, yes, I was letting you finish because, I didn't want
I love when one of my books is released as opposed to escapes. I think that's a good thing. But briefly getting back to the movie. First of all, you should support Classic Flicks on this and other releases they do. It's a small but very good company, and this is selling right now on Amazon at half price. So it's always worth looking. If you don't have this, it's worth picking up. Should mention too, because this is B movie gold. Harry Essex is the writer-director. Harry Essex is the guy who wrote The Creature from the Black Lagoon, among other things. But that's, I think, what he's most famous for. And the cinematography is by John. What is that guy's name? The great film noir cinematographer.
There's a lot of them.
Well, I mean, this is the guy. I mean, he did the big combo. John Alton.
Oh, yeah. We talked about it.
I mean, he did Raw Deal. He did T-Men. I mean, he was absolutely
but he hasn't done this because they haven't made it yet. But The Return of the Maltese Falcon, ladies and gentlemen, by Max. This is a great cover, by the way.
Well, you and I will make an AI version if absolutely necessary. Is that all right, Rob?
Well, with my experience making an album, I can tell you, though, it won't be cheap.
I know you said that one person could make a movie.
Yes.
Think what the two of us could do.
Well, you'd write the script.
And then I go away.
We don't. No. I still believe in the humanity of the screenwriting. You need a great screenplay to start. But yeah. I mean, look, whether I do it or whether somebody does it, it's going to happen, and it's going to become the norm. It's just an enormous amount of work. I mean, look, guitars have been around for hundreds of years, but we don't see every kid in their neighborhood start a band.
No.
And even
you're
using
absolutely right.
You could make an AI movie with the tools that exist today, but to make a good AI movie would require months of work. Months of work. Now, that's to make it good. I mean, you could have one. It's the same thing. I've found out the same thing is true of making AI music. You could do it in a second, hit a button, and you'll get a piece of music. Is it good? No. I have discovered that using multiple AI programs that are interdisciplinary works. It takes me 4 or 5 AI programs to make one AI song the way I want it.
Well, I'm absolutely somebody that's railed against AI, and I'm still, as you said, my attitude's changed, but not necessarily positive or negative. It's just changing.
Yeah, me too. I mean, it's still mostly negative, but in terms of it's silly to talk and be bitch and moan and complain about new technology that's never going to go anywhere except getting better.
Well, there were some people who didn't think talkies were going to make it.
Yeah, I know.
And you can
What's
actually
the matter with
understand
my voice?
Well, it's like the movies had been around long enough for them to think, well, that was the art form. Silent movies was the art form, and it took a while, to be able to not have the cameras be bigger than a Buick, right, and to be able to do some cinematic things that you couldn't do, that you could do in silent films. Because think how liberating it would have been to. That's why so many of the Italian movies they just shoot them, they just dub them afterwards.
And they did that all the way till fairly recently.
Yeah.
It was called, mid-out sound because it was just easier and quicker, and they knew they were going to dub them into multiple languages anyway.
Sure.
So
particularly if they've got four production companies from 4 different studios from 4 different countries, they got to be able to release them in each country, and then they got to be able to release them in America. So
I had a call with apparently my Instagram feed is it gets a lot more interaction than my YouTube channel does, just in terms of people. I mean, it's a different thing. Who's going to watch a 2-hour video? But on Instagram, I post a lot of drivel. But I got contacted by Facebook Meta, and they were looking at my YouTube channel. They're like, we really like what you do on your YouTube channel. And they wanted me to keep doing more of it. Just when I talk and make stupid little videos about whatever. To me, Instagram is a stream of consciousness thing. But here's the kicker. They said, we want you to turn your translation feature on Instagram. And it will immediately, because I make these videos where I talk to the camera. It will immediately translate your videos into foreign languages and make your mouth move so it looks like you're speaking that language. And I was like, that's insane. And I know that that's already there, but I've already seen an influx of people that are coming and subscribing to my YouTube channel. I mean, my Instagram feed, which is wild. I mean, and if you think about we're just in the very beginnings of all of this.
Yeah.
But my experience, why I wanted, and a lot of people, it's very funny. A lot of people have come after me. They're unhappy that suddenly I started making AI
I
music.
get that.
However, then I had people, when I started putting up these songs, they're like, Rob, I would buy this on vinyl if you make an album. And I have to say, I'm not releasing songs unless I love them. And like, I've made these songs that I love because nobody would make them but me. But the process, what's interesting is the process is a different process. Like, I don't make the music. I don't make music. It's all completely AI generated. However, I curate it, so I spent a long time making the songs. And like I set out to do a kind of a song, like the one I finished last night, Candle in the Dark, is literally a goth song based on Charles Sagan's The Demon Haunted World book. And I sent it to Dave Parker, and he's like, this is really good. And I went, yeah, I think so too.
Well, one thing you make me think about is that, I was in bands from starting in 1965 until last year. And when we did finally stop performing, I had an album we were going to do that we didn't ever get recorded, where I'd written the songs for it.
Right.
And I was just thinking last week, those songs are just, they're never going to exist because I don't have any way to get them out there other than just my vocal and that's it. Now I'm starting thinking, well, I could just have an AI band play behind my
it's insane. And there's a lot of tricks that I've been using that I actually taught myself, just thinking, I wonder if I could do this using different AI platforms, and it works beautifully well. I mean, it's because that's when people have heard the songs like, how did you do all of this? Because it's and there's ways to do things that suddenly, I mean, it's going to affect every part of the arts. But what it's going to allow people to do is, I think the new authors are gonna make entire films themselves.
Yeah,
and it really goes back to animation. The process is more, you can create a storyboard, you can write a script, create a digital storyboard for your script, and then go in and you can jigger your storyboard around, and then you can cut the storyboard together and start doing each storyboard. Then would become an AI generated frame, and you pick the frame. You can pick the lens you want to use. Are you going to use it in 35 or 50 millimeter? What are you going to do? So, and then you just generate each frame, and then go in and you can cut it together, be an editor, and then you have to score it and mix the sound. And I mean, you literally can deliver a film. I mean, the way I would do it though would take almost as long, even though you're using AI, it would take almost as long as making an actual movie.
Well, true. I had something I want to say about that, but I need to jump to something. I forgot to mention why the jury is why I took this year-old, release and made it my focus, other than my childish fascination and obsession with Mickey Spillane. That's because it's a Christmas movie, and it's all set at Christmas, and all of the transitions are Christmas cards with Christmas carols playing, and there's Christmas trees everywhere, and there's an ironic connection to Christmas throughout this very really dark film noir. And I have my column, which I do every week at maxallancollins.com. It's ALLAN, by the way. Every Tuesday I do an essay of sorts, and also links. And I have a link to, I don't remember where it's to, but if you come Tuesday, you can find out a very good article on 10 Christmas noirs. And very fun to read. And again, Scrooge was, with Alistair Sim, that's a noir as far as I'm concerned. So there's a real noir aspect to to Christmas and Christmas movies, and which is my excuse for being able to mention a little movie called Blue Christmas.
Yes.
That is and when I say little, it's a little, because I made it for under $10,000, and without AI, So, but kind of with this, in a way, with the same mindset. But I say this: we've had, I don't know, we had something like 20 reviews, and 17 maybe loved the movie, and 13 could not have hated it more. I mean, so it either
But that's the best thing, Max. Love and hate. If it's in the middle, it's meh.
Yeah,
it's better this way.
They have to be able to. They have to be able to watch a $10,000 movie, and I have to not rub that in their face as they're watching it, which is very tricky. But it does come back to me wanting to do some movies without Hollywood, and how am I going to do it? So it becomes. I've only done a few of these like this, but they become homemade movies. And when I say it's $10,000, that's because I got some people with high-end equipment who are willing to come do it, just for a piece of the action, basically. But all the actors were paid. We did it on one set, basically. There was six days of shooting on one set, and we did a day of B unit out in the wild, and some public domain footage of a city in the 40s that I could use on the end credits and the opening credits. So it was definitely a homemade movie, and I think you'll enjoy it. It's basically a version of a Christmas Carol, but it's not. It's not Albert Finney. It's not Albert Finney and Scrooge. Scrooge.
Well, hey, what can you say? That's all good. We're here to promote your work.
Thank you.
Our work.
And everybody who checks into the C Wing will have a screening of Blue Christmas free for them. Absolutely free. There is a charge to leave, however.
Really?
Everyone has to purchase a ticket.
That's it.
You can sign up.
We let you in free. We charge you to get out. I think that's my new. Yeah. That. I think it's genius, because once they're in, right?
Yeah, of course. Well, that's good. We got a couple of questions. We've got Richard Curtis. Every time I see his name, I think, well, it is the season. I think about Love Actually. He's currently reading The World According to Garp, and he should finish it in the next day or two. So good. Have any of you ever read any John Irving? Well, I've actually read The World According to Garp because I love the movie so much, and I went and read it afterwards. What about you, Max? Have you
Yeah, I have read some of him, not for a while. I wouldn't say I have a favorite, but he's definitely a very good novelist. Very, I like the fact that his books are entertaining while being serious. I mean, he's got serious themes he deals with.
Well, and they've made great movies. I really like the Cider House Rules.
I do too.
I thought the Cider House Rules was really good. And somebody made the Hotel New Hampshire, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
That's the movie. And then there's, of course, the only other John Irving I've read was A Prayer for Owen Meany. So, have you read that?
I have not read that.
I want to say that came out. I read that a long time ago. I want to say it came out I read it in the 80s, but I read it in California, so it had to be the late 80s. I read it at the beach.
Well, what I'm about to say applies less to non-mystery fiction, and Irving obviously is non-mystery fiction. But something that I get in trouble over sometimes is that I do not read much, if any, mystery fiction that post what I liked when I was reading it as a kid and young man. In other words, I dare not say Hammett, but Hammett was one. Chandler, Spillane, Rex Stout, Agatha Christie, Jim Thompson, all these kind of people. Earl Stanley Gardner. I read all of that stuff up through Donald Lee Westlake. In fact, this week I'm writing about that on I mentioned my blog, my update. Got a lengthy piece on my relationship with Donald Lee Westlake and his Parker novels, written by Richard Stark, which is movies like Point Blank, which is just a great film. So I read him up through about Lawrence Block, and I kept reading Ed McBain, and I kept reading anybody who I'd read as a young man and followed their careers. But I had an experience early on where I was reading do you know the writer George V. Higgins?
No.
He wrote the Friends of Eddie Coyle.
I've seen the movie.
Yeah, he had a very distinctive style. I was reading him, and when I sat down to write again, I was writing like him, and I couldn't get it out of my brain. It was so distinctive. So one part of why I don't read the mystery fiction is I don't want to be influenced. Okay, sure. I don't want to. I'm already influenced. I'm plenty influenced. I don't need to be influenced. And the other thing is, screw the competition. I do not want to. So when somebody says, Max, what's your favorite mystery novel? It's not going to be, it's not going to be my, and Harlan Coben's a friend of mine, for example, but it's not going to be a Harlan Coben book because I want to sell my books. I don't want to sell somebody else's books. I don't want, that old expression. I think I said this in the show. If you like peanuts, you'll like Skippy. Well, I'm in the Skippy business. I'm not trying to sell any fucking peanuts.
Some selfish deeds going on in the swing here.
There you go. Well, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. By the way, Alex Zorbas says the show ages like fine wine, boys. My top 5 movies in need of 4Ks are Grand Prix, Manhunter, Memento, The French Connection, and Free Enterprise. Any update, Rob? No, I mean, I might one day find myself walking out on my front stoop and getting gunned down by someone who doesn't like Jews, so I better get the movie finished before that happens. But,
all publicity is good publicity, Rob.
Well, yeah, I mean, there would be maybe I can organize my own assassination, I'm sure, and as long as I get the movie back and get to remaster it in 4K first. And the real Thomas Logan says, Bobby, don't forget my letter for all 3 of you. Oh, we haven't. We discussed that letter. I've got to do a separate video. So Thomas Logan sent me a 5-page letter with 31 accompanying photographs.
The usual.
And that's something that
the usual small contained letter.
Yeah,
my favorite 4K we haven't got yet is a little movie called Road to Perdition.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
We need that.
Yeah. More than we need Free Enterprise.
What was that?
Shots fired.
Haven't there been enough assassination attempts lately?
It's okay. I'm used to them. Yeah, Dieter's not a fan. He should see it in the original German.
Yeah, but I need to do that, Rob. But perhaps the dub could put a new spin on it.
Yeah. So at least you're honest. But yeah, so Thomas wrote a really long letter about Stanley Kubrick, which I think deserves. It needs some time. You can't just write a 5-page letter and send a bunch of. It takes time to download the pictures and put them somewhere, and so I'll have to do maybe a special segment on this letter that Thomas wrote. But The Shining was one of the top 10 movies in theaters this week, so Kubrick is back, baby. So, yeah.
Well, let's not forget he made some rockin' film noir.
He did. The Killing is one of my favorite movies of all time.
Absolutely.
I love The Killing. It's so good. And I love the stories about how his cinematographer and him did not get along. But which is good. So let's see. So we are caught up on shows. What are a lot of the 4Ks I'd love to get. They're like Fox titles. I want Patton. Like, how come Patton's not on 4K?
Stay tuned. Stay tuned for which company buys out which library and doesn't do anything with it.
Well, I'll tell you something. I had a conversation with our friend at Warner Brothers, and very optimistic about 2026. He's been given a lot of leeway to do things, and he told me that various deals have been made with various people about various titles, and it was very exciting. And
wow,
he's very fired up.
News.
He's very fired up. And so, the Warner Brothers has deals with Shout. They have deals with Criterion.
Arrow.
And they have deals with Arrow. And our friend at Warner Brothers is incredibly enthusiastic about his relationship with Arrow. Very, very enthusiastic. And
that's good to hear. Very good to hear.
And he just, every time I have a conversation, he makes me smile.
So, gentlemen, we're gonna meet one more time before Christmas. Is that right?
Yes.
Next week.
Yes, sir.
All right.
21st.
Don't forget our top 10 end of the year, Max.
Ooh.
Your top 10 favorite releases.
Am I included in that?
Yes. Well, of course. I would think so, Rob. I would think so that we can include Max.
Check with the boss.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Of course.
Okay.
I mean,
I'll do that, Max.
Of course. Of course you are.
Okay.
Like, why would you think that you wouldn't be included in something?
Well, this is on my list.
Yes.
When it came out this year, Max,
Actually, it came out very late last year, and one of the reasons why I'm pushing it beyond just my natural obnoxiousness is that the distributor didn't get it out to the streaming places for last Christmas in time, and it is available everywhere on streaming, including Tubi, for example, which is where Black Creek is available. Correct?
Yes, correct.
Yeah,
I think so.
So now it's good little Christmas movie. Just like I used to say to my audiences when I was playing rock and roll, the more you drink, the better we sound. And I recommend heavily eggnog with rum, or rum with eggnog.
Well, there you go. What can we say? We can say,
Where is the sea wing?
Allow me. Enjoy.
I understand where they got reference on me and you, Rob, but where did they get Barb, my wife Barb?
I don't know. Actually, the reference on you is not so great, I have to say. Dieter and I look better in the background. That's from Walter Whitewalker, but it's damn funny.
Where is the sea wing?
I don't think this is the kind of hotel, though, that we would have.
Enjoy.
Where is the sea wing?
Look at that lobby.
Allow me.
It looks so classy.
Enjoy.
But the ladies look classy, too.
Where is the sea wing?
So
Allow me.
So, there you go. That's
Enjoy.
Walter Whitewalker.
I just don't think anybody's going to be looking at me, and I don't think anybody's going to be looking at you or Dieter.
No, but look what we can look. Walter Whitewalker also made a new Dieter video.
Oh, I love it.
Welcome to the Sea of Metal. Welcome to the Sea of Metal.
There you
go. Oh boy.
Now we know we can make, just with the time, we can make a Dieter shark movie with AI, an entire film.
Finally.
Rob, will you send me links to your music? I want to hear it.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm not on Instagram. I'm not one of these kids, I'm not one of these young whippersnappers. I'm only on Facebook.
Oh well, how can you only be on Facebook? I mean, come on, man. Although, do you want me to play a little bit of one, because it is movie related.
Please.
Okay, I'll play now. For those of you who haven't, so here's what when you're writing. So for those of you who don't know, you know, when you make an AI song, you have to have an idea. Like for me, I had to have like an idea of what it. I mean, everybody has an idea and usually writes a sentence, but I had to write an extensive prompt, and then and the way I do it, I need lyrics and verses and everything. But so here now, this is not remastered. So here is the song. Here is my third attempt at an AI song, and it's called "The Ballad of Kurt and John."
From the sky on a black glider wing, one red eye glowing where the future stings. Manhattan's a cage by the wire and rust, 24 hours ticking in presidential dust. The Duke owns the streets with a chandelier crown. I walk through the madhouse wearing midnight's frown. John Sims stalk behind me like wolves made of chrome. Every heartbeat a countdown, no way back home. I told the president, call me Snake, and shot up the world for freedom's sake. Curtain John, ice and gun, four dark rides beneath the dying sun. From glacier to ghetto, from storm to the sea, we carved our myth in minor key. Outlaws forever, no parole, no plan, just the growl of the engine and the blood on the hand. Antarctica bled where the ice split wide. Something ancient woke up and crawled inside. Mac ready with flamethrower, beard full of frost. Trust is a match, at every friend is a cause. Morricone's baseline throb like a chest burster's heart. Simple for no terror, tearing the world apart. We burn what we love just to stay alive. In a blizzard of paranoia, only the fire survive. I blew the whole station, lit the long polar night. Nobody wins when the thing learns to fight. I roll.
So that took about 10 hours to do.
I think that's remarkable.
And that's not the remastered version. So you take, because that sounds very AI, but you can take your AI songs into a remastering program that professionals use, and then you remaster the songs. You can play with the it's amazing what you can do. But it's, as you can tell, you have to write the lyrics. At least, like, you could have AI write the lyrics, but they're kind of nonsensical, and they're not, like, these are very specific to John Carpenter movies. Like, and I'm like, okay, I know I want to do there are 4 movies I want to do verses about: Escape from New York, The Thing, Big Trouble in Little China, and Escape from LA. So I would sit there and I would work. I knew first of all, you'd come up with a structure of the song. And if you use AI to come up with a structure, like, I knew I wanted choruses and bridges and pre-choruses sometimes. and I knew what I wanted it to sound like. I wanted it to be kind of this bluesy. So you do it in different parts. You're like, okay, I want this, and you come up with a structure. Like you can use AI to beat out a structure. Like, here's the structure. What would I want? I want to have this song, and it'll give you a structure, and you're like, okay, is that structure going to work? Then you tailor lyrics to the structure of the song. And most people just use AI. Write me a song about blah, blah, blah. Like Elizabeth, I gave it to her. She goes, write me a song about my geek boyfriend. And she hits click, and a funny song comes out. But if you know anything about how you want to structure songs, you can use multiple AI platforms. And then I'll go, once I've got the lyrics done, and I know what the lyrics are all going to be, and that takes a long time to get decent lyrics that I would like, that I would be proud of. So I'm using AI, and I'm writing the lyrics as well. So it'll give me structure. I'm like, that's terrible, because it doesn't always know what you're talking about, and it doesn't know it like I had to put in, like, if you listen to the lyrics, it talks about John Carpenter's synths, and like you heard Morricone's synths about the end of the world, 4-note beat for the end of the world, like all that stuff that AI doesn't know that. It doesn't know that I want that in the song. So I had references to all of. The only person I missed was Shirley Walker for her score for Escape from L.A. because she co-wrote the script, but I'm like I couldn't fit her name into the lyrics. So you spend all this time, right? And then what happens is, here's the key. You decide what kind of music you want it to be. And then you're like, okay, I want this to be a cross between the Charlie Daniels Band, The Devil Went Down to Georgia, and Steve Earle and the Dukes, whatever. Now give me the structure of those songs, like musically. And you wait, and ChatGPT will talk about like what instruments were used, what guitars were used, what tempo was used, and you spit all of that out. So I have a Steve Earle and the Dukes song, and I have the Charlie Daniels Band, The Devil Went Down to Georgia. Then I take those, and I take the instrumentation and the structure, and then I write them together. I put them together like, okay, I want to use this, I want to use this, I want to use this, and I write all the things I want, and I put it all down. Then I go back into ChatGPT, and I say, or to Grok, and I say, okay, write me, and I'm using Suno as my musical platform. I say, write me a style prompt in the format that Suno can accept, using all of this instrumentation information that I've gathered. And in terms of like tempo, you have the tempo and time. And so you figure all that out, and whatever you want it, and then you put it into a style prompt. So you have the lyrics. The lyrics are one thing. The lyrics and the structure of the song go in one place. Then you have the style prompt, and then you have a fader that says how weird do you want it to get, and how much do you want to lean into the style, and do you want a male or female voice. And it generates an AI voice depending on what you're doing. So you have all of this stuff in there, and then you hit create. And it usually takes me about 25 creations before I get a song that I like. And when you get the song that you like, then you open up their editing platform. And you can break out the song into 10 different tracks. It'll give you all the vocal track. It'll give you the percussion. It'll give you the guitar tracks. It'll give you the choir. It'll give you everything. And you can break all that out and start editing the song. You change lyrics. It's insane. So, yeah, you can hit it and just get a song if that's what you want. But if you're really interesting or interested, you can spend all day or days. Some songs I worked on for multiple days. And I'm just doing this as an exercise. I wanted to see ultimately, and I'll do the show tonight. I think I'll do a show tonight on this process. Is there any creativity involved in doing this? Now, philosophically, there's no music. I'm not playing any instruments, although you can sing and you can play if you wanted to. You can play instruments, and it will take whatever you play and whatever you sing, and you can make songs out of that. I tried singing this song, but I couldn't do all the things I wanted to do. Like, I couldn't make my voice, because sometimes he whispers, and sometimes, he's up here. I couldn't get those right. But I did try and sing my own songs. You could sing your own song. Dude, it's insane. And you can make it as complex as you want, and you can also make it as intricate. You can be involved however you want. And the more you use various AI tools, the more deep you can go. And I would say what I did was I acted the way a producer would act in a studio. I produced these tracks. And the one thing I didn't do was I didn't play the instruments, but I certainly controlled what instruments were in them. And I picked, even down to the kind of bass guitars. If you're a fan of a certain bass, you can say, okay, I want it to have this bass. And it will. I want these synthesizers. I want these pads. It's insane. So what I've realized is that what we're going to get is most people are just they're going to hit a button, they'll use it as a novelty, and they'll walk away. But I would never be able to have produced a piece of music until 5 days ago. And now I've produced 6 pieces of music that I'm actually proud of. I would say, okay, if I was ever a musician, I would say I will put any of these songs up and say, I think these are worthwhile creative endeavors. And they're totally representative of me and my taste. Now, that's fucking scary. But on the other hand, like you, Max, you were in a band and you have songs that you wrote that would never see the light of day. Now, if you used all this technology and you brought those songs to life, would you then say that those songs, we're calling stuff AI slop, and there's a lot of BS out there. There's a lot of AI slop. But I wouldn't say what I did was slop, because for me, and if nobody else ever liked the songs that I made, I don't think you should make songs if people aren't going to hear them. But for me, it was a creative exercise that I never would have, there was a road that I never would have traveled. Never. And so I went down and I'm going to have a 10-album song, a 10-album track album that you can purchase on Spotify, because they give you the commercial rights. You own everything, especially the way that I was doing it. Now, what's really interesting too is if you look into all of this and how people do these things, I'm just wondering, okay, I'm going to give you, let's see if I made I want to play you, just so you know the difference. I want to play you a snippet of one more song that I did so you can hear the difference of the kind of music you can write. And so I wanted to make a song about All That Jazz, the movie All That Jazz, and I called the song Gideon's Requiem, because Joe Gideon is the main character. Who's gonna do now? I'm wondering. I don't know if I made an actual movie of I don't know if I made the video of Gideon's Requiem, so maybe I can't. I have a YouTube link for it, but I don't know if I made. Well, I had to have made a song. Maybe it's in downloads, but it is. I know we're totally off topic, and I'm totally in the weeds, and I don't even know if anyone's paying attention anymore to this. But I thought it was interesting, although I can't find it. I can't find the video. I'll have to find it, but it's on YouTube. You can go find it on my YouTube channel. But it's
Dieter.
totally.
Turns out Rob is smart. Would you have ever fucking guessed that Rob was smart?
Well,
I'm impressed.
If he falls down a rabbit hole like with the AI, I know that too well, especially when ChatGPT was new on the market,
Yeah,
there was a special episode here on Let's Get Physical Media,
But my question, Dieter, is that the real Rob, or is it AI?
Well, it's I'll tell
Or
you
is
something.
he already in the hive mind of pluribus? No.
I'm very impressed. Rob. I want to make an album with you. You and I need a project.
Well, another. The funny thing, though, I will say this: for me, it's total instantaneous creativity, because the speed at which these things work, like so, I wanted to make different kinds of songs. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do my goth. I want to do this total dark, cynical, nihilistic goth tune. And I want it based on Carl Sagan's The Demon Haunted World. And that was how I started. That was the beginning of my thing. And I think it's one of the best songs I've done. I just haven't made a video for it yet that you can see. But they get better the more I go into them, because you learn how to.
I am genuinely impressed. Very, very impressed.
Well, you got to listen to the whole song, because I was really impressed by the lyrics for "Escape from L.A.," which is a movie I hated. but anyway, yeah, thank you. But don't be impressed by me. Thousands of songs. I heard that 100,000 songs get uploaded to Spotify a day now. 100,000 a day.
Well, how do you wade through them though? How do you find
most
out
people
what's
just
good?
disappear. The software I was using to master my songs is called e-mastering, and first of all, this gets really expensive. I went broke. The dogs haven't ate in 2 days. No, just kidding. But it gets really expensive. But apparently, the Ballad of Kurt and John should be on Spotify today, if you can find it. I don't know what that means, but it's I put it up on Spotify. I made a much better
if you could do the ballad of Dieter and Max, I think you would have a guaranteed hit.
I think so. Probably. But it really begs the question. I mean, it really comes down to like any other endeavor. The more you want to put into it, the more time and effort that you want to put into something, the better it's going to be. And there's going to be a lot of people that are going to create some world-class stuff using this technology. And that's basically when I started editing with the Avid back in 1995, everybody was bitching about you can't edit a whole movie on a computer. Because you had basically the way people were cutting and making movies. When Lucas created the Edit Droid was cumbersome. But when Avids, came out in the mid-90s, I embraced it immediately. And suddenly I was a one-man band editing and being post-supervisor of movies.
We were told, Phil Dingledine and I were told that we were the first, the Mommy was the first movie edited on that got on TV and stuff, edited on an Avid.
Yeah, I could see that, because there was a lot of pushback, and I'm like, why would you? I mean, like, for me, it became possible, and I see it this way, like, for me, editing on the Avid is very akin to making music now, because before you had people that were actually literally splicing and cutting film, and literally putting film together, and what I wanted to see is could I make something that I would be proud of, a piece of music that did not necessarily involve any musicians? Because I think being a great musician is one of the great artistic forms that anybody can do. Now, the thing is, being able to play guitar in front of people is an enormous skill that humanity should be lauded for. But I'm not trying to replace that. A song is a piece of media. It's something to be consumed. And a song is, by definition, you're recording an instrument, and then you're taking it in the studio and you're manipulating that recording. You're putting reverb on it. You're doing all kinds of things that are computer assisted or electronically assisted. And that's how music is being made. The only part of the process that I don't have to deal with is the creation of the actual instrumentation. But like any producer, once I have that, then I manipulate it and make it the way I want it. And people have been doing that for pop songs forever. So it's funny. I did a song about Amelie, and I wanted to make it like a David Sanborn, like a saccharine saxophone laden piece of music that you would hear in an 80s romance, some kind of, and it's awesome. I don't know if I'd release it because it's not but you can do all that stuff. And that's the real question is, can you really make art? Now, I wouldn't, again, the same thing is true of writing a book. You can hit a button and ChatGPT will write a book for you. But is that book worth reading? I mean, you can work with writing programs and you can give it an outline. You can give it a chapter outline and have it write chapters. And then you can get the chapters spit out, but then you start the rewriting process. And you can use ChatGPT to write a book. There's not ChatGPT, but there's a book writing program. If you were to use it, Max, you could probably streamline the process of you writing a book, but it would still be your book. You would still rewrite every word of it. You'd just be able to do it faster.
Well, to some degree, that's what really happened when word processing came along. I mean, I don't know if you're familiar with something I did called True Detective, which later became. Do you know the one I'm talking about? It became
True Noir, the assassination of Anton Cermak, based on the first Nathan Heller novel, True Detective, written by Allan Collins in 1983. You mean that?
That one. This is true now. When I was working on a typewriter, as all writers were at that point, when you sent a manuscript in, it had to be perfect. You couldn't send the carbon. They didn't even want you to use the whiteout liquid paper stuff. It was supposed to be perfect. So think about the writing process when you have to always turn out perfectly typed pages. What does it do to revision? Anytime you revise anything, you revise one line, it throws the page count off. So I had written the first chapter, which became the first episode of True Noir, the assassination of Anton Cermak. I wrote that 13 times. Now, were they 13 wildly different drafts? No. Sometimes there were 10 words added. Sometimes there were 3 words changed, and everything I wrote it 13 times. And this was 1981. And I went out and said, I got to do this on a computer. I can't do this anymore. And so I went out and got I got a computer actually made by the John Deere company, if you can imagine. That was something like 8K or something. I mean, it was just nuts. But compared to a typewriter, what it did for me, and I think I was the first mystery writer that I know of to switch to, basically word processing. Changed my life. Changed my life.
And I think that the real question is, the fear that I have is, will people learn to play instruments anymore? And
they'll have to.
And I think that that's a very real concern, though. But I do think the physical act of interacting with music and making instruments or play is not going to go away, because there were not very many people that played instruments 500 years ago.
Well, remember this. You know the what is the name of the session musicians that were on almost every, like half of the hit records of the 60s and 70s, the Wrecking Crew.
Oh yeah.
The Wrecking Crew. Okay, they were on, you could name, they were on Paul Revere and the Raiders, they were on Turtles, they were on all these bands of that era. And what would happen is the bands would go in, they get their contract, and the first record they did would be them, okay? Then for the second album, because the band was going on tour, the Wrecking Crew would do it. They'd come in and sing the vocals, okay? The band would. But the record you heard, the hit record you heard, was the Wrecking Crew playing all of the music on it. And then they would go out, the band would go out and perform the music in a venue. Maybe there's something similar that would happen here. Because no one's going to sit in an auditorium and listen to a recording that they can listen to at home.
Right.
But they want to see the people that created it. So there will be there's going to have to be some kind of element of the creators being involved.
Like James Earl Jones licensed his voice to Disney to be the voice of Vader forever.
Right.
Now, he's passed away.
Right.
Now Majel Barrett recorded all of the commands for Star Trek, spaceships. Her voice is the voice of the computer. I think that every actor, it's going to be a new thing. Like I objected to the fact, remember when they were going to make a movie about James Dean, they're going to bring James Dean back and digitally recreate him. I don't necessarily want to see James Dean recreated, but you know what I would watch? If I knew that an actor went in and say, he got fully body scanned and participated, and then did what he needed to do for his entire like you can record, like you need like a half an hour of someone's voice before it can be completely digitally recreated. I think actors, before they pass away, before they leave us, or even if they're young actors, if they're working, they should digitize themselves in because it's all motion. Look at Avatar. Avatar used real actors in motion capture situations, but everything else is generated. And if you want Kurt Russell or you want Angela Bassett or you want Richard E. Grant to star in your movie, which is what I want for this particular film, no one's going to let me make this movie ever. This movie that I want to make. I've wanted to make it for 30 years. No one will let me make it, and they certainly won't let me make it with Kurt Russell, Angela Bassett, or Richard E. Grant. Now, if I could get the money to make that movie, I would really want to make that movie. But if I could pay Angela Bassett, Kurt Russell, and Richard E. Grant a certain amount of money, or license their existing digitally captured images that they did, so they got money, their estate in perpetuity throughout the universe forever, these digital assets, you could go in and make movies however you wanted, if you could pay for the assets. And you make the assets expensive enough, like not $5 million, but if you want Kurt Russell to be in your movie, it's $250,000 that goes to his estate. And his estate would have approval, like they would have script approval. You send in and then you would be able to go and make your movie. I could make this movie that I want using all these technologies. It's still expensive because paying for video is expensive. And as video gets better and better and better and better and better, I could use everything I know about making movies. I could edit the film, design it. If I wanted to go get composers, like, I'll give you an example. Alex Bornstein created the great soundtrack for True Noir mostly in a computer. But he brought in real players. He brought in real horn players. He brought in real string players. He had real piano. He recorded those things, but he had his sax player and his horn players just riff. And he recorded them riffing, and he got enough material that he could then go in and manipulate digitally the score. So we have an incredible score that the soundtrack album's going to finally get produced. It's ready to go. It just needs to have the money to make it made. We have an incredible soundtrack. It's very lush. It's very incredible. How many audio dramas have a soundtrack? But most of it was made in a computer. Now, Alex Bornstein was creating it, a real composer. He was playing keys, but he recorded real players. But once you have that information stored in the computer, you can manipulate it however you want.
There are, though, going to be elements of this. I think you're onto something, but there are elements that are going to require real human beings to be together in a room. Think about how we did True Noir. And your insistence on our lead who played Nathan Heller, Michael Rosenbaum, working with another actor and not just recording his stuff dry, right?
It never would have worked.
It would, and so you have to, there has to be the human element, and that's why I'm not fearful that not that anybody would want to do it, but I'm not fearful that anybody's going to write a Max Allan Collins book that I didn't have something to do with.
Well, by the way, every actor acted opposite. Corey Landis was the actor I brought in because he's a great actor, and he acted with every single actor, because when you have actors sitting talking to somebody for a 10-minute scene, if you didn't have a real human being, you never would have been able to make it sound real. Not now.
This, to me, this is all going to be about how the human element works with this technological discovery, if you want to put it that way.
You know, Steven Lisberger, the director of Tron, said in my documentary about the CG of Tron, he goes, listen, at the end, he goes, the most important thing is that we need to get artists working with this computer technology as soon as possible, because they're the ones that are going to be able to figure out how we can use it in our current system. And what's going to happen is a lot of people are going to be enamored of the fact they can press a button and have their song made and walk away. It's not going to be a good song, but they'll get their song, they can play it for their friends. But like everything else, why doesn't every kid have a rock band?
I mean, for example,
it's hard.
This is so if you put all of the Beatles music into these programs and each individual Beatle, they would never write a real Beatles song. There would never be a real Beatles recording come out of that process.
It just get really close, though.
I don't think so. I don't think so, because technology. I mean, it takes genius to come up with this technology, but the human genius is something different.
But yes, and what you would
element.
You would never come up with an idea after they were gone or whatever that they themselves would have come up with. Like I think what makes, aside from the technology that I was using, I think what makes that song I played you unique is that, has anyone ever thought to make a blues ballad, a rock blues ballad about the 4 feature film collaboration? I left Elvis off because it was a TV movie. The 4 feature film collaboration between John Carpenter and Kurt Russell. As far as I know, no one's ever made that song before.
Well, that's creativity.
Well, that's what I was going to say. The very impulse that led me to read that, to make that, I was trying to think of what would be songs I would make. What would me, Robert Meyer Burnett, make as an imagination connoisseur? What would I make a rock song about that nobody else would? And one of the things that popped into my mind was the not about Kurt Russell or John Carpenter, but the collaboration between the two of them specifically. And I'm like, I don't want quotes from the movie, other than the fact that he says, "Call me Snake." Because he says that multiple times. I didn't want to use "It's all in the reflexes," or I didn't want to use any like "Look at you, I thought you were dead," like what Isaac Hayes, because that's what everybody would do. So I was like, no, I have to have verses about the kind of synthesizer that John is using to score this scene.
These are all human choices.
Yeah.
The human element is in there, even with the technological approach. I don't know, but I think
know if anyone's watching this show still.
I think you're onto something. I really do.
Well, it's the same as true of film editing. I could never have in 1985. I could never have edited a film by myself. It couldn't be done. I mean, I guess you could, but you would need assistant editors. You'd need people to be organizing the trims and all that. Until computer editing came along, I did not have a career as an editor. And then I got one.
You might have an answer for this.
I don't know if it's an answer.
Has it improved editing? Is it better than the old-fashioned editing?
That's debatable. I think it's made things easier, so people are less sure about their choices, because you can now try and edit 1,000 times in seconds if you wanted to.
And I've seen plenty of movies where I wish that they didn't know how to edit that fast.
Yeah, right. Yeah. That's another thing. That's a whole new style of editing developed because of this.
That's right. Well, I've taken up enough of your time, and poor Dieter's had to sit and listen to these.
He's like,
two
what are you
would-be
talking about?
geniuses talk.
He's heard it before.
So, gentlemen, I wish you a happy week. I don't have to wish you. I guess I can wish you happy holidays now, can't I?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
So I'm going to do it. So, always a pleasure. We did kind of go down a rabbit hole there, but Alice in Wonderland is cool, so maybe it was all right.
There you go. Actually, Darth Plato says that the flip side of this, Rob, is that you'll get a vast plethora of mediocrity over the seldom gems in the rough. I agree.
But that's already true. That's already true.
But what's going to happen is the people that are creating the mediocrity will get bored of it soon and leave. Because look, it's very intoxicating when you first start playing with this technology, but most people won't stick it out because they won't get what they want. They'll want to get rich and famous for coming up with, I'm a musician now.
Most people interested in the arts don't have the wherewithal to stick with it.
No, it'll be like other. We'll get a lot of mediocrity at first, and then everyone's going to get bored and walk away.
And then once Dieter's gone, who's going to buy all these bad movies?
Certainly, nobody.
But Dieter,
nobody.
The thing is, though, Dieter knows the difference between good trash and bad trash.
I hope so, Rob. I hope so.
Well, okay, but you do know. You do know the difference.
You don't become the trash panda by accident.
Correct.
That's an honor.
Only badge of honor. Badge of honor.
Yeah, I don't know only one person who's been bestowed that honor.
There you go.
And some of us people trying to make $10,000 movies are glad you're out there, Dieter.
Yeah. But I didn't know that ahead of time, Max.
Oh, so okay. Well, I don't need opinions. I just need butts and chairs, right? Butts and seats. That's what I want.
And books over the counter.
That's it. Guys, I guess I'll sign off if you're ready for me to go. You know, if
Rob has done all super chats, because there's always perhaps a super chat that
No, I got the last one was from Darth Plato. We're
all right.
Just wait, Max. I remember one thing from the live chat last week that was asking something about you. Wait, if I can find it quickly. I think it was actually Major Chai, if I remember it correctly.
Who I got to meet.
Here do I have it.
What a great gal.
I'm trying to find a copy of Max's Road to Perdition. Could you recommend some sites or sellers for it?
Well, I need to mention a couple of things here. There's the Road to Perdition, the graphic novel, that may or may not still be in print. I'm not sure. They've been talking to me about bringing it back out in a new edition. I would think that would be available at Amazon. Certainly you can find it on eBay, but it's the graphic novel. Then there's also from Brash Books, and this is in print, is my full novelization of Road to Perdition, where I melded the movie with the graphic novel. Then by all means avoid the movie edition with the picture of all the famous stars on the front, because that's what they made me do. They made me take my 80,000 word book and cut 40,000 words from it. So do not do that. Isn't it? Except no substitutes. Either the graphic novel or the novelization I did. The novel I did, because there's a lot of. I'm novelizing myself, but it's the prose version of Road to Perdition, and that's from Brash Books, which is Lee Goldberg's company. And we all know who Lee Goldberg is, I think. So please thank her for me, please, for her interest. And Brash also has Road to Purgatory and Road to Paradise, the two sequels. Okay? Those are prose books. There's a couple of, then there's two graphic novels that I think are still in print. Road to Perdition 2, On the Road, and Return to Perdition, which is the very end of the saga. So there's plenty of perdition. There's room in perdition for everybody.
There you go.
Gentlemen, thank you so much.
Yep.
Fascinating stuff, Rob. Fascinating stuff.
I'm glad you liked the song.
I did like the song.
I'll send you the other ones.
I want them.
Yeah.
You may be my new producer.
Well, there you go. I'll send you the remastered versions of them.
Great. Thank you, guys.
All right, gents.
Next.
We're going to say goodbye to
See you
Max.
next week.
Goodbye, Max. Always good to see Max. Dieter, what's this show about? I forget.
Let's Get Physical Media, but are we considering we are a little bit now later in the time? I don't know if you have still something to show, or if we keep it for the next week.
You know what? We could keep it for the next week. I don't mind that.
Okay. Because if we are through with the super chat, we could switch into the news section then.
Yeah, the news section is good. Well, let's just go ahead and do news. We'll do it quickly. First of all, Universal. Here we go, Dieter. News. Universal putting out the Woody Woodpecker and Friends Golden Age collection. These animated titles, people are loving them. All this classic animation. Warner Archives put out a bunch of stuff. We got some notices about that. But Woody Woodpecker, the Golden Age collection, coming out. Then we have, these are coming from Warner Archives. This movie was remade, but this is the original. The Narrow Margin, A Fortune If They Seal Her Lips, A Bullet If They Fail. The original Narrow Margin, which was remade. I want to say was it Gene Hackman and Ann Archer in this? I don't know.
Yeah,
like
I think so, Rob.
Yeah.
Isn't it coming out too?
Yeah, yes, I think is like Kino putting out or something. Yes, but this is the original. So. Then here is Clark Gable and Jean Harlow in Red Dust, and I'd like to think when I saw this, I'm going to get really excited because it's a science fiction movie set on Mars, but it's not that. And Victor Fleming, the great Victor Fleming, it's a Victor Fleming production, so that's coming out, and I'm sure it's going to be great. Then we have Edward G. Robinson, Marlene Dietrich, and George Raft. By the way, I should have had Max here because George Raft is, of course, a character in True Noir, The Assassination of Anton Cermak, that is played by Corey Landis. And this is Manpower. I'll bet. Look at that. Is Marlene Dietrich caught between a rock, a Rob, and a Raft place? I don't know. Looks that way. Then we have The Verdict with Sidney Greenstreet and Peter Lorre. I mean, these classic titles are like the creme de la creme of classic films that Warner Archives does, with George Felsenstein and the folks over there. Amazing. And then Doris Day and Gordon McRae by the Light of the Silvery Moon. This is obviously a musical or whatever, but hey, it always looks great. Technicolor, their transfers are amazing. Then we come to Mario Lanza for the first time, and Zsa Zsa Gabor's in this. I would imagine this movie is just what it says, for the first time. Is this about young love? I don't know, but based on the inset photo there, probably. Does someone lose their virginity in this movie? And Mario Lanza's going to sing about it. Why not? And then we have, last but not least, the Fred and Barney Show, the complete series that Warner Archive is putting out. They've done such a great job. Huckleberry Hound. Now comes the Fred and Barney Show. And there you go. And here comes the Universal headliner of the week. That's right. The Oscar-winning A Beautiful Mind. Look at that young, handsome Russell Crowe.
Yeah.
Do you have a beautiful mind, Dieter?
I
don't
don't
mean, do you have
know.
the disc? Do you
with all the trash that's swirling around in that head drop,
Are you
I don't
sure?
know if you
'Cause
can call that mind beautiful anymore.
I think you have a beautiful mind. So It is coming out in 4K. I actually really like this movie. I really like the score to this movie, and of course Jennifer Connelly's in it. And why is Jennifer Connelly not on the? Why is it but Russell Crowe and Ed Harris? Well, then we have a
Was this the official poster for the movie, Rob?
No, I don't believe it is. I think the official poster for the movie is actually different than this. Now,
Don't
hang
remember.
on. I need to go. Let me just go to the. I want to get this. I need to go and get this right. So Kino Lorber, are putting out this a new movie with. You got to watch any movie that's one of the most handsome men who ever lived, Sidney Poitier. And this movie is called The Lost Man, which I haven't seen. A former U.S. Army lieutenant played by Jason Higgs, Jason Higgs is played by Sidney Poitier, who, after becoming a black militant during the 1960s Black Revolutionary Movement, is wounded when he pulls a payroll heist to help imprisoned brothers and has to hide from the police. I mean, and then a white social worker, falls in love with Higgs while helping him elude capture, and it's loosely based on the 1947 Carol Reed film Odd Man Out. Heck, I'll watch it. You had me at Sidney Poitier. Now, here's one for you, Dietz. Sisu 2, Road to Revenge.
Of course.
Look at that 4K.
Certainly.
Great 4K.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the movie, but I can't wait to
Me
see
neither,
it.
Rob. Can't wait.
And since you brought it up, I wasn't going to include it, but Silent Night, Deadly Night. I don't usually include new movies, but I love this cover so much that I'm like, why not?
Yeah. Okay.
So there you go. Imprint begins a cool onslaught. They're putting out a couple of things here. First of all, they're putting out the Sidney Lumet Volume 2 box. And to be fair, this is not Sidney Lumet's most celebrated work. So we've got The Wiz, Daniel with Timothy Hutton, A Stranger Among Us, Critical Care, which was not a very good, I didn't think it was a very good comedy, and Gloria. So those are the movies that are in this box set. But Imprint does a good job with these. So what's not to love? And then, of course, we have the films of John Mackenzie, the British director. I think he's British, might be Irish, I'm not sure. And again, this is also from Imprint. And these, the John Mackenzie box set has The Long Good Friday, which is a terrific movie, Honorary Counsel, The Fourth Protocol, and Ruby. So I think The Long Good Friday is probably the best film in that package.
Yeah.
And then we have coming to us from the BBC, Blake 7 Season 2. I really need to get on this. I still am rocking my DVDs. They remastered these and did all kinds of stuff. And what's not to love? I love this show. If you haven't seen Blake 7, it is, in fact, truly one of the great science fiction series ever made.
Awesome.
Then Kino Lorber's putting out the Jack Benny comedy classic double feature, Man About Town and Artists and Models. I love that they're delving once again into cinema history. Then let's jump back across the pond to the UK. The UK's Indicator is putting out the movie The Survivor, based on the James Herbert horror novel. And I'm actually really looking forward to getting this, which is very, very cool. And this is one of their big full-on genre box sets that Indicator does such a good job with. And their post-production is really first-rate. These movies they always look incredible. And this film is interesting because it was, in fact, directed by David Hemmings. And I think this is really interesting. So that's pretty cool. So David Hemmings the actor became the director, I believe. And so I've actually never seen this movie. I've wanted to see it for a long time.
Me neither.
So this is definitely something I'll be picking up. And then also to add to that, they're putting out the movie Dead Kids, a.k.a. Strange Behavior, which is a favorite of mine. Michael Murphy's in the movie. Louise Fletcher's in the movie. Fiona Lewis is in the movie. and they made a sequel to it called Strange Invaders, a darkly comic blend of horror and science fiction from director Michael Laughlin. In a small Midwestern town, police chief John Brady investigates a bizarre series of murders, and as the corpses pile up, all signs point to the hellish mind control experiments of a twisted scientist. And this was co-written by Bill Condon. And Tangerine Dream does the score. And it was produced in New Zealand. So, yeah, I do want to get this because I like Strange Invaders too. Then there's a new Tinto Brass movie coming to us from Cult Classics. The Key, and Tinto Brass, you gotta love him. Then we go back to Australia for Imprint. They're putting out a good crop of I'd say mid-level movies. The Fabulous Baker Boys, The Fan with Robert De Niro and Wesley Snipes, the Richard Gere movie Mr. Jones, and a movie I have been waiting to see in HD for a very long time. I will definitely get this. Wrong is Right, a 80s political thriller that starred Sean Connery that is almost forgotten these days. It's not great, but I really like Sean Connery's performance in it. It is. I liked it. I saw this in the theater, and it really kind of disappeared. It's been hard to see for the last 20 years. And then the political movie True Colors with John Cusack and James Spader, another movie I really like. And then probably the best movie of the bunch, well, Fabulous Baker Boys probably is, but also a wonderful movie called Running with the Moon, starring Sean Penn and Elizabeth McGovern from, 84, I think? I'm not sure, but hey, pretty good stuff. Then we have Ma and Pa Kettle. Nobody remembers Ma and Pa Kettle anymore, but they were a big comedy duo, and Universal is putting it out. Kino Lorber giving us a 4K of Jamie Foxx as Ray. Ray Charles. I really like this movie. I thought he was really good as Ray Charles. If memory serves, he did. Didn't he win an Academy Award for playing Ray? I think he might.
I think so.
So
at least a nomination.
Yes, at least a nomination. So that's damn exciting. And then let's see, what else do we have coming to us? A new Vestron title coming from Lionsgate. Mystery Team. Now, I don't know anything about this movie. This came out in 2009. They were kid detectives. Now they're 18 and still solving child crimes. But when the mystery team is challenged to solve a murder, they're pulled into a dangerous world of sex, drugs, and swear words. From Derek Comedy, the internet comedy sensation whose short films have been viewed over 150 million times, this strangely hilarious, completely unique film that's been called Encyclopedia Brown meets Napoleon Dynamite with a pinch of Ace Ventura. I don't know anything about this movie, but I would certainly definitely watch it. And look, is that Donald Glover on the cover? Looks like it to me.
Not sure.
And while I don't know anything about it, why not get it? Mystery Team. Here's another one.
Looks almost like Aubrey Plaza.
Yeah, I know. Kino Lorber's Raro label is giving us this, starring the story of Owen Moonraker's Corinne Clary. This is another reminiscent of Eyes Wide Shut and told through ingenious flashbacks. Plot of Fear tells the story of a decadent weekend party full of orgies and drugs on the outskirts of Milan. Sold. Ding. Pre-order. After 2 deaths occur, Inspector Lomenzo interrogates one of the guests, a fashion model, Corinne Clary, who becomes his informant. Clary reveals that after a wildlife orgy, one of the hosts tried to jokingly feed one of the prostitutes to a tiger, but she got so frightened that she died of a heart attack. In his attempt to find a link between victims, the inspector slowly unravels a pattern in the killer's crimes. I mean, are you kidding me? I'm in. Thank you, Kino Lorber. Then we have this. This is really interesting. This is a documentary called Resident of Evil. It's coming out from Dark Star Pictures. And this gives viewers an unprecedented access to the tumultuous behind-the-scenes dynamics, creative tensions, and ultimately the poignant demise of the envisioned film. George Romero never got to make a Resident Evil movie. Revealing Romero's unique perspective, this documentary shows the intricacies of his creative process, undisclosed facts of his script, and his struggles with the corporate elements overseeing the project. So this
Interesting.
Should be pretty
Very
interesting.
interesting.
I mean, we'll see. And then, of course, Lionsgate Limited coming in once again hot. I'm really loving Lionsgate Limited. Cabin Fever. The original Cabin Fever in a 4K disc in the Steelbook. I love Cabin Fever. It's such a great body horror movie.
One of Quentin's favorites.
Oh, yeah. What's not to love? Kino Lorber's given us, they're still raiding the Paramount lot, or the Paramount catalog. Dead Again, coming to us, Kenneth Branagh's thriller, Dead Again. I've always liked this movie. I've always really liked this artwork, too. Can't wait to see that. It's coming out from Kino Lorber in 4K. And then we've got something called the Reveries trilogy, which I don't know anything about, but it's also coming out. This is coming to us from Cartoon, created by comedians Anthony Orbeck and Matt Baratz, and director Graham Mason over nearly a decade. The Reveries trilogy is a series of increasingly complex and ambitious comedy art films that revolve around two mysterious drifters who never speak, but whose inner monologues carry us across a landscape of absurdist one-liners, weird tales, and stream of consciousness musings. So that sounds interesting. Don't know anything about it. Totally will watch it. Now, this next one I reluctantly include on this list, but because it's in 4K and it's a nice set, people are going to want to like it. I do not own, other than Picard Season 3. Well, that's not true. I guess I own the Picard series, but here we go. Strange New World Season 3. Look at this Steelbook set in 4K. Picard wasn't in 4K. This is in 4K. Star Trek in 4K. Unfortunately, it's this Star Trek. I know people like it, but you like it for the wrong reasons. But that's okay. I'll say it. I don't want to criticize anybody who likes anything, but Star Trek Strange New Worlds is coming out. So, do what you got to do. I'm just telling you. Now, there is a new label that has come out. I think it's called 77 Films. 77, or just 77, not films, just 77. This is Bronco Bullfrog. Again, I don't know anything about this movie. The debut film by Barney Platts Mills, one of the forgotten heroes of British cinema. Bronco Bullfrog is remarkable and a revelation. 17-year-old Dell with no money and nowhere to go breaks into train cars with his cool, fresh out of Borstal Reform School pal Bronco Bullfrog. And one day he meets the lovely Irene, and after getting an earful from his dad and her mom, the young lovers run away together. But to where? Shot in London's East End in 1969, the cast, with Doc Martin wearing suede head locals and set to a dynamic soundtrack by art rock band Audience, Bronco Bullfrog has been compared to the work of Mike Lee and Ken Loach, but with a punk rock spirit. After a minuscule American release following its Edinburgh and Cannes premiere, this lost gem returns as a cult landmark. So, hey, why not get it? Looks good to me. And then we're going to go over to, we're going to get this second run is going to bring Knights of the Teutonic Order to us. Alexander Ford's legendary adaptation of Heinrich Sienkiewicz's renowned novel was selected by Martin Scorsese as one of the 21 best films in the history of Polish cinema. Set in the early 1400s, this epic is both a spectacular war film and a historical romance depicting the events leading up to the bloody Battle of Grunwald. Well, that's a hearty endorsement. Why not?
Have you a picture for it, Rob? Because it's always still the Bronco Bullfrog.
I'm sorry. Here's the picture. Wait. Oh, that's why. I hit the button wrong. Knights of the Teutonic Order. There you go. Czech cinema. Then we have finally Death of a Gunfighter. This is also coming to us from Kino Lorber. This is Don Siegel's movie, and Robert Totten's Death of a Gunfighter. It stars Richard Widmark. This is from 1969. And it's another cool Western. After shooting a drunk in self-defense and humiliating the local newspaper editor into taking his own life, town officials take drastic action to oust the sheriff from office. That is Death of a Gunfighter. And that wraps up what we have for this week's news. It's the end of the year. Not a lot of exciting. They've already set so much of their slate going into the first 3 months of 2026, but a few things. There's a few things in there. Then we get to the top-selling Blu-ray discs. On top, All HD formats. The Long Walk is number 1. Kudos to Lionsgate. Kudos to Roy Lee. Superman is number 2. F1, the movie, is number 3. The Conjuring Last Rites is number 4. Jurassic World Rebirth is number 5. Ballerina is number 6. Sinners is number 7. Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning is 8. Wicked is 9. And number 10 is Interstellar. And then, of course, the
Probably
Amazon.
the special edition for Interstellar. There was a new special edition, I think, for Interstellar that came out.
That's right. The new, I want to get this. I didn't order this. I got to get this. The Amazon exclusive 4K Steelbook of The Long Walk. Then we have F1, the movie, Superman, Jurassic World, The Conjuring, Mission Impossible, Interstellar, Sinners, The Lord of the Rings, the motion picture trilogy, probably a Schnäppchen, and The Thing.
Yeah.
So there you go, Dieter. That is all.
Look at the jump from Sinners, Rob, from 102 to number 8 again.
There you go. You know,
Schnäppchen.
it's out.
Must be Schnäppchen.
Yeah, there you go. So you know we're at the it's all on you, man.
Okay. So previously on Let's Get Physical Media, because we have, of course, the big topic was Netflix buying Warner Brothers, Paramount shipping in our 110 euros was not enough. So Peter Cunnington says, with Netflix buying Warner Brothers, physical media is dead. Let's hold our horses. Let's see how
not
it
at least for another
shakes
year.
out.
Not at least for another year.
Yeah. Drew Gordon, I spent too much on Blu-rays again. You and I, sir, park our shuttlecraft in the same shuttle bay as every week. Robert Thompson Watson, the Avatar first film is a one-watch, quite a good film. No need whatsoever to make any more of them. Let's see if we will get perhaps 4 or 5 even. Clarence Maxwell won because we asked Rob about his findings considering Avatar. Rob's explanation makes me dislike these goofy movies even more. Alpetal 666, I still have to catch up Avatar 2. The question is, do you really need to? Robert Thompson Watson, it dances with Smurfs and it ain't cool in the slightest. EAB cool. Doesn't look real to me. Looks like a video game. And Brian Knight. Do I enjoy Robert rambling on about Avatar for 20 minutes? I do not. Alpidal. Avatar is just Sharknado inexpensive. Clarence Maxwell. I hope it flops and causes total Hollywood chaos. Okay. Joseph. So box office does not equal quality. No, it does not. But we feature it because normally good box office translates normally in good sales later. HV Christodot. The work print cut of A Better Tomorrow 2 is really cool. Just wish it was better quality. Yeah, normally with work prints like that, you get, VHS quality normally. And the drawback is if you like that version more, that's then tough, Joseph, second biggest, considering Rob was mentioning last week, Five Nights at Freddy 2, record for this or that, because the media outlets always are very creative considering spinning some record on it. And Joseph 7988 says, second biggest opening for a movie with the word Freddy in the title. Clarence Maxwell, box office should be based on number of tickets sold and actually torn. So it would be actually 0, because at my multiplex, no movie tickets get torn anymore. Steve Catania says, you people are all cool, no trolls here. This is a safe space, in my opinion. Thank you. Johnny from New York, Peckham Hall was hilarious. Nice. And speaking of Star Wars, getting 50-year release with the original version, the Tatooine, no more McClunky. Robert Thompson Watson, I prefer all the original special effects in Star Wars. Leave the films alone. They are what they are. Better than the CGI pish nowadays. Joseph, don't get Rob started on Return of the Jedi. Yeah, he's trying to stay away from that. Clarence Maxwell, I can wait for Return of the Jedi original re-release with Slap the Neck and Yap Nap songs. The Alex Sorber, we were speaking, I think, a little bit of disappointments. Godfather 3 was my biggest disappointment. It's not horrible, but in the context of my love of the first two films, it's a goddamn tragedy. Robert Thompson Watson, the problem with Netflix is Netflix. The Alex Sorber, Nice Out is a bad example. You can watch it on your phone in the toilet, but I actually watched it here on my telly and had a great time with the third one. Peter Cunnington says the reason Frankenstein could have made like $1 billion if they promoted it correctly and kept it in the theater for 3 months. The problem, Peter, is when a movie has run its course in theaters, just leave it in longer doesn't really do anything, because if it has run its course, put it out otherwise. Rulard says it's a little bit of a double-edged sword. Netflix can also greenlit movies that wouldn't get made without a profit motive. That certainly is true. And as told last week that I thoroughly enjoyed Troll 2, the sequel to the first Troll, but I know, like Drew Gordon, he says Troll Hunter is better than Troll. I know that a lot of people prefer that one. Grit Nature. Netflix definitely does good stuff from time to time, but trusting them with franchises? Heck no. Blabful says physical isn't competition for streaming. It's additional revenue stream with a different demographic. Okay. Lance Maxwell comes in with hot takes last week. Dune movies are unwatchable to me. It's the absolute most boring version of Star Wars possible. Okay.
Wait,
and Kevin Wellborn,
run that by me again.
Dune movies from Clarence Maxwell are unwatchable to me. It's the absolute most boring version of Star Wars possible. Perhaps he wanted to be featured in the live chat, Rob. I don't know. I'm just reporting as it is. You know, what can I say? Hard takes coming in here. And Kelvin Wellburn says, I had fun with Black Creek. I have my Kickstarter disc too. And I, Kelvin, have mine finally too either. And Paul and Brunotto, considering Black Creek, informs us that Cynthia, yes, she's very happy with it. He told us, but lots of production issues during the making of Black Creek. And he says the script of Black Creek 2 is already written. Perhaps we should give it to a true noir master to look it over, Paul. You know, just saying. And Paul says, I will ask Cynthia about doing another Let's Get Physical media. We would be down for it, certainly. Major Chaicha, okay, this was the question that I asked Max already. And Alpindal, has anybody seen Luc Besson's Dracula movie? Yes, I did. Featured on the show, but like I said, it's fine. But unfortunately, not that you should seek out immediately. BCH2, the trip around the Enterprise, considering Star Trek the motion picture, was the best part. Probably used 75% of the budget. HV Christodot, Yun Piao is always good. Totally agree. But of course, he was a little bit in the shadow of his two big brothers, Zemo and Jackie. And Grit Nature says, considering Conjuring, the last one, Last Rites was definitely better than the third movie. Third place in the franchise for me. I hope so, because I remember the third one was not for me that good either, but I haven't seen Last Rites. And Fuvish Hemviken says, I'm pretty sure Dieter will buy Five Nights at Freddy's 2 on physical media. I certainly will not, because I haven't even bought the first one. And Rob, in the news section last week, had that insane movie, America 3000.
Yes.
And Stubble McShave says, I saw America 3000 in the 80s. It's not as good as the description says.
No.
And Paul and Brunotto says, America 3000 is not a good movie. And Clarence Maxwell comes in with hard takes again. Crappy multiplex movie theaters are in the future. And HV Christodot hopes Netflix will lose all their subscribers. And Quit Nature says cinema was doomed as soon as Hollywood started streaming services. And Clarence Maxwell finishes, cave paintings were cool once too. Hot takes here, Rob. This was the live chat
Wow.
from last week.
Well, a fine live chat.
Hot takes.
Hot
takes.
takes.
Hot takes. Unbelievable.
Well, that brings us to the end of our show. Let me just make sure, and I'm going to make a special video of Thomas Logan. I told him I would because I've got all the time in the world. I have all the time.
And I will save the haul for next week.
Yeah, I might need. I don't know
when
what I'm
able to
getting.
show.
So yes, we can do that. And I'm just let me just check here and make sure that we are good. Wait,
Super chats and tips.
My buttons have eluded me. Too many things are going on. I was talking to too many people, doing too many things. No, I wasn't really. But let me just make sure that we catch up on anything. Oh, Darth Plato sent a tip in saying the Fred and Barney show is more historically accurate than Ridley Scott's Napoleon. That's hilarious. Walter White Walker said the song's a banger, Rob. It reminds me of Copperhead Road. Well, thank you for that. And Walter White Walker goes on to say, I'm surprised the new Spartacus went so G-rated. I jest, of course. I was a little worried after watching the trailer, but this show is fantastic so far. John Campy has been reporting back that the new Spartacus has not skimped on the sex and blood quotient. It's right up there, the way it always was. And after that, we are caught up. So everybody, I want to thank you for supporting the channel via Super Chats and Tips. Thanks to our moderating staff and all of that. So yeah, very exciting. Very, very exciting.
Okay, so from my end, jede Person, die du triffst, hat eine Geschichte zu erzählen, die du noch zu hören hast. Alles, was du tun musst, ist zuhören.
Every person you meet has a story to tell that you have yet to hear, and all you have to do is listen. And with that, I can say, I don't know, it's great doing the show with you, Dieter. I can't believe we're coming to the end of another year.
Yeah. We should be back next weekend, and then at the end of the year, we will do, obviously, our top 10, which will be tough to do.
It's the 14th. There'll be 2 more shows. We'll do a show on, the 28th? That'll be our end of the year show. That'll be between Christmas and New Year's, so that'll be fun.
Top 10.
Sounds good. I'm going to be dumping a lot of videos on the channel people haven't seen. The Roy Lee interview is finally the whole thing is going to go. My David Mack interview is going to go. There's going to be a lot of stuff on the channel, and the Opus software. It's going to be great. So I'm going to start making clips. This Opus AI software can take one of my 2-hour shows and turn it into a clip.
And Rob, just try to ask Netflix, you need money for a movie, and then pocket it.
Yeah, if somebody give me 11. But the thing is, his mistake was he should have made the movie. You make whatever you're going to make, you make it for $5 million, you pocket the 6, and then they still
wasn't it a TV show? Wasn't it a TV show?
Yeah, it was a TV show. He said he shot the whole first season. I'm like, dude, you went and spent a bunch of money. He bought 4 mattresses that collectively cost $600,000. Are those happy ending mattresses? What do 200? What do?
Can he take this mattresses with him into prison?
I mean, $150,000 mattresses. I can't even fathom that. And now he's
probably he could use the code from the Bad Canadian Kid for those mattresses.
Yeah,
and get 10% off.
Crazy. And on that note. All right, everybody. Well, thanks for being here. Appreciate it. And we'll be back. I'll probably do a observations tonight. I have to go to yet another holiday. I thought one holiday concert was enough. Apparently, I've been committed to doing another one this afternoon. So I want to get back to doing observations. I've been a little slack because I've been working on our hot. I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm so out of it. I was working on our Kickstarter perks. I want to get those out. And for those interested, True Noir is getting true, real international distribution. So I will not be showing any promos before the show anymore, like I was. It's getting true international distribution, and it looks like February 15th it'll be available on all audio platforms. So that's really, really exciting for us, which means, hopefully, that we will be able to do a season 2. So I can't officially announce season 2 yet. We are in active conversations discussing season 2 of True Noir, which I really hope to do because I really, really liked doing True Noir. And in terms of things that I've created, it's been the one that it was most satisfying for me from a creative standpoint. Really excited about how much of it turned out the way we wanted it to. So that's very, very exciting. So February 15th, if you haven't bought True Noir, you can get it wherever you get your audio dramas, or it'll be everywhere. So that's great. It's great for us. Very exciting.
What company distributes it then, Rob?
Well, we work with a company called Skyboat, but it's a different company than Skyboat. I forget that name, but it's a big audio drama distribution company out of the UK. So right now I'm gathering all the materials I need, but it's helpful because now we can move forward. We had to kind of hold off on finishing things because we didn't know what our deal would be with our distributors, like the soundtrack album and the Blu-ray, but we carved those things out so they can now move forward. We've been in this process for 6-8 months, so it's really sort of delayed me able to deliver the Kickstarter perks, but now, like, they're done. The soundtrack album's been done. I had Jeff Bond write liner notes for it. Now we can kick it into high gear. And some people have wanted to know also about the short story competition. I was going to wait to launch the short story competition until I deliver the Kickstarter perks. But since we have to read the short stories, I might as well start it now because I'm not going to crowdfund the actual book until later. And then also my AI album, which is called The Singularity is Here. I was going to call it Imagination Connoisseur, but I'm not. It's called The Singularity is Here. You can get it, and yes, it's an entirely AI-generated album, but it'll be available. I think some of the songs are supposed to be available on Spotify today, but it's going to be a 10-track album, and you can hear what my obsessions are about it and tell me what you think. I'll do a show about what it was like to create an AI album, but it was definitely an interesting experience, and I would highly recommend. I mean, it's not totally cheap, but I would recommend everybody try it because we're all going to be living in an AI future, and just organizing your mind around how you can make AI work for you, I think is really interesting. You see all that stuff on social media. Well, go away for a month and learn how to use AI. I think that is very sound advice. Whether people want to hear it or not, it's not going away. So I just think that it's definitely something that is sort of worth doing. And my goth epic that I made, I'm going to release today. It's called Candle in the Dark. Here's the 12-inch cover for my band, Doomsday Machine, Candle in the Dark. And yes, did I create this image using AI? I most certainly did. And I do not apologize. Everything about this is AI, although I did although I do use the fonts. I do put it into Final Cut to do the actual album covers so I can add grain and stuff to them. But there you go. There it is. Candle in the Dark, my goth epic masterpiece. I never thought I would say that. But I'm very proud of that song, Candle in the Dark. So I'll put it up on YouTube today. You can listen to it. And maybe the whole album will be on Spotify. So there you go. Who knows?
Okay.
And on that note,
see you next week.
I guess we'll see you all next week, everybody. Thanks for being here, and buy more physical media. And we are done. We're out.
Okay.